Try our best. Yeah, basically any big key or small key is shuffled within any chest as well as the maps and the compasses too. So you can find the big key to Ganon's tower in the first chest in Sanctuary. We'll actually find out if that's what it is right now. Nope, looks like it was just a compass. Then we got 20 bucks in Link's house.
Yep, looks like we're off, and nothing too fancy so far.
Yeah, we got team left starting at Link's house and team right over here starting at Sanctuary.
Yep, but looks like Kohrek is immediately going for Flipperless Hooligan, if I'm interpreting this right.
Yeah, it's actually a really strong opening to do in Keysanity, just because you have the extra keys, maps, and compasses entered in the pool. Finding enough money early can be a little bit of a struggle. So Houlihan can give you the money to buy bombs. It can give you the money to check the bottle vendor and all that stuff. You don't have to worry about the constraints of that.
Yeah, I think I'm a pretty big fan. And ooh, it looks like we're finding our power glove here and the tunnel by the uncle.
Okay, nice early find. Could be throwing them up the top of, Death Mountain. That could be back at Sanctuary, or, just another piece of your Dark World access. We'll have to see where that leads them first.
Looks like just a piece of art here.
So, Keysanity can, in theory, I think it could be actually one of the faster modes. I mean, with having big keys and small keys and getting those early and not having to search an entire dungeon, that could allow you to go mode a lot of dungeons you wouldn't normally be able to do. But also at the same time, it kind of makes sequencing very difficult, and you could end up having to do dungeons multiple times. So in theory, it could really save you a lot of time, but in practice, it usually ends up just making the runs a little bit longer.
Oh, it looks like we got a sword at the Lumberjacks. That's, we'll have to see. I mean, they theoretically need the Master Sword to get to Aga 1.
Got a Desert Big Key over in the dam.
Yeah, looks like sab0tender is checking the back of this cave.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if anybody gets that sword. I have a feeling we probably won't be seeing anyone grab it. Unless, of course, they need to do Aga 1 to get Dark World access. But, oh wow, that's an early mitts for sab0tender.
That was a good check. He found a Misery Mire small key and the Titan's mitts down there, so that's pretty important.
Now he just needs a fire rod and he can go fake flipper and bunny revive into Ice Palace. That's the play right there.
Yeah, who wouldn't do that? Looks like Kohrek, with the money that he had, did buy 10 bombs, and now he's trying to defeat these mini Moldoms with only bombs. Pretty
good work there. I don't know how that top one didn't hit both of them when they were stacked on top of each other, but mini Moldoms are... Another small key to Misery Mire. Got Quake over the mini Moldorm cave too, and it was 300 bucks too. So he's got Zora money if he wanted to elect the fake flipper to go over there.
Yeah, might be checking out the Ice Rod cave maybe. We'll see what he does. Looks like he's definitely heading east for now. We've got IB Karma now checking out Blind's hut here, and Kakariko, I think he's the first one in here, finds the cape. And Blue Mail. And the pod key. Oh, but he doesn't have any bombs yet. Oh, he's gonna have to come back here.
Yes. Again, kind of the annoying parts of the opening game is he didn't have the money to do it, I don't think, until he had came down there either. So he's kind of hoping just to maybe find 3. Ooh, there's a flute in the chicken house from Jim.
That's very convenient.
Yeah. Kohrek might be kicking himself a little bit when he gets there, because he's kind of already explored the areas you're hoping to find the flute before you go over there, but he elected to do it early, and not a bad play by any means. There was a lot of chests there, and you might have found an item or so that would have helped him be a little bit more efficient in Kakariko. Say like the flute or a bottle or maybe like hammer and powder or something like that.
Looks like there was another 300 rupees back there in Blind's hut, so maybe Kohrek not too happy about that flipperless hooligan once he finishes up with his Kakariko route.
You never know. There's no such thing as having too much money in this game, right? You might need the potions.
Got a TR big key here from Jim, and down in the well.
Good key to have early. Man, I'm really suspicious of Misery Mire having some really nice progress. We've seen, I think, 2 of the 3 small keys in the progress so far. They have flutes and mitts very early accessible. There's a Quake medallion. Now, they will be needing a sword to get in there, and that's also assuming it's Quake, but that would be raising my suspicion flags if I was playing this seed.
Yeah. Oh man, and half magic on the book thingy there in the library.
Oh, okay, nice. Need to find those boots that, are obviously locked in the very back of Ganon's tower.
Well, I'm thinking since they already found the cave, what if they find the boots now? Would that lead you to that sword? I mean,
it could. They still need one other sword to actually beat Aga 1, because you got to get past those stinking curtains, but and the lamp makes Aga 1 a little helpful too. And then also you have to find 2 castle tower keys. Like, even if you wanted to go ahead and brave all of that stuff low percent, you still have to have the keys to get through it.
Yeah, very true, very true.
That's one of the fun things about Keysanity is when it gives you 2 castle tower keys immediately, it doesn't matter what you got, just go ahead and beat Aga 1, because you're probably going to need to do it anyways. There was a reason why the game was giving you those. Jim will be getting his Desert Palace big key, all that stuff. So yeah, Desert Palace big key so far, Turtle Rock big key, got a flute, and even some early mitts. All the glove upgrades in the escape area.
Yeah, that is definitely what our right side runners are still missing. I mean, they've got a lot of important stuff already, and it's definitely something that they'll probably be checking very soon.
Yeah, they're probably holding out to see if they can maybe find a weapon or anything like that, so when they do make that trip up there, they could go ahead and clear out the entire area. Escape and Keysanity is, in my opinion, really a different beast in the game, because you really want to get everything there, because all the chests can have value. That Dark Sewer chest has been known to have really good things, and you don't get it on your first try, and then you don't come back for a while. And even having the cape now, they could check 1 chest in Aga 1 area if they, figured out a way to kill those ball and chain guards with, say, just bombs right now, because that's their only thing they could use.
Yeah, unfortunately, the only other thing that they have is a Quake medallion, and really only Kohrek has that apparently, so... And without a sword, they can't use that either.
Yeah, it's not too useful without a sword, but I mean, if they did have a sword, Quake would be a really good thing to use on those ball and chain guards. It would definitely be faster than just a fighter sword.
We'll have to see where it leads them first. Right now, they're still clearing most of the overworld and what they can reach. I'm interested to see what we'll find here in Nagina's cave.
Ooh.
Desert Palace small key. We've got the big and the small key there so far. I think there's still another small key, right?
No, there's only 1 desert small key in the chest.
Oh, right. The others are under the pots in the back half of it, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it kind of makes the old play of stealing a key in desert a little obsolete. That could really add a lot of time to your run if you find the big key to desert, but you don't have the small key, and then you have to find the small key to, kill Land Mola to get your last crystal. I mean, that could be something that adds up to a half hour on your run, so you don't see that play happen too often anymore.
I'm trying to think, like, if, say, sab0tender finds the mirror, he'd get into desert. I mean, he could also find the book, obviously. But with the Titansmiths and the flute in hand already, he could flute to 6 and then just warp to desert, basically. But he's missing the mirror for that.
Yeah, you need the mirror to check the chest, and then he would need a fire source also if he wanted to complete the dungeon, because he still can't get the landmark without a fire source. But that seems like a really good play too, knowing the knowledge that we have right now.
Alright, so it looks like Kohrek is on his way to pick up his first glove.
He has 9 bombs too, so that's definitely enough bombs to go ahead and make it all the way to the back of Escape. I think the minimum you need to do all of that is 5, because you have to kill 2 blue guards and 1 green guard. He's just electing to save and quit out of it though and check his other options. Again, probably looking for a more efficient weapon source.
I think he's gonna check just the back of Escape, because with the glove now he can get there much more easily than, you know, having to navigate through everything in the dark and stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, that dark chest, you still need to check it too. It's gonna be dark either way.
Oh,
he actually can't get this way unless he finds a castle, or a Hyrule Castle key.
I do believe they found a Hyrule Castle key somewhere. I'm not sure if Kohrek specifically did, but I've definitely seen one. I think it was in the race game, maybe?
Maybe. I know he didn't have it because I could see his key thing. Yeah, Kohrek getting his back-to-back gloves there.
Yep.
We got the green pendant in Skull Woods.
Well, looks like Gem is opting to make his way down Escape.
And he has exactly 5 bombs, so you better be careful with these. If he misplaces one and doesn't get a bomb drop, he's not going to be able to make it all the way to the back.
Yeah, this could be a close call for him, but we'll see.
He's a professional at this game. Jim's really good. He's the entrance shuffle champion, and I think he even made it to the round of 8 in the tournament, so he should be fine with this. He never messes anything up.
Yeah, I mean, he's alright, you know?
Oh, he got bailed out by a bomb drop, so...
Oh, yeah, okay. Typical Gem.
Yeah. Kind of the story of, you know, his run. Just nothing but luck.
Well, looks like sab0tender is checking into Eastern now. I think he's the first one there, while Kohrek looks to be on his way there as well.
Eastern's a really strong play in Keysanity too. I mean, just anywhere you go where there's chests now, that's kind of one of the fun things that Keysanity adds to the game is, you know, dungeons only have a certain amount of items, but they have more chests in it to make up for, you know, all the keys and stuff they have. Now, like, anything can be anywhere, so any chest could be the chest that you're looking for, which makes this mode very fun in my opinion.
So
that was a Swamp Palace small key, yeah.
Just picked up a very important key.
Yeah, if I've been watching correctly, we know where the Hera, Desert Palace, and Swamp Palace small key are. The only other kind of single item locking small key we'd be missing at this point would be the Thieves Town small key. So that's kind of nice to have those as early as they do, because those are kind of the weird ones that you seem to check last when you're going to backtrack, and that's the last place you look for your go mode item.
Yeah, and especially that swamp key can really troll you if it wants to.
Yeah. The trolliest spot being where it always is normally, the vanilla location. It's the one that gets everybody.
Alright, looks like Gem now on his way to pick up his Titansmiths, while IB is also checking into Eastern, so that looks to be the play for most of our players here.
Yeah, and there was a mushroom in Eastern Palace too.
Ooh, okay. The Gem missing the chest there.
Tough. It's hard to get those things that aren't moving, but
it happens
yeah.
to all of us.
We've had our mid super early now, but we're still looking for that Moon Pearl. Kohrek will be doing the dark room here. This is a little bit more tricky than it seems. I mean, it's an easy dark room, but you usually have a sword, and you got little, I think they're called like popos or something. They're always bodying in front of you, and they'll knock you back into the anti-fairies, and then you got to pick up this key in here under a pot, but you got Stalfos that are running around into you, and they knock you around. It's kind of an annoying dark room to do without a sword.
Yeah, if you don't have anything that can, you know, kind of give your position away, you're kind of just guessing where you are. I mean, it's kind of muscle memory in a way after a while, but it can still be very annoying without a sword.
Jim will get his knowledge that Skullwoods is a pendant. Ooh, that's the mirror from the mushroom there. That seems really important.
That seems very important. All right. So I'm guessing sab0tender is immediately heading to 6. Nope, he's heading to Hera first. Okay. I think this is just as valid a decision.
I mean, absolutely, but I do like your thinking. Trying to go to desert first. That's probably something I wouldn't have thought about, but that seems like a really strong play considering the game has kind of pushed you that direction.
I mean, they're really missing a fire source for both Hera and desert, though with Hera you at least have a theoretical chance to finish it if you find a weapon of some sort, like the hammer.
Alright, well, that hammer's been available to everyone, with or without that mirror. Hera's also going to be Crystal 5. He actually can't finish Hera, even though he got that hammer, because he's still lacking the Tower of Hera big key.
Oh, and as chat is pointing out, we missed a bow pickup from Kohrek, apparently.
Oh, was it? Oh, that must have been in the past the dark room. Wow. Okay, that's really huge. That means sab0tender elected not to do the dark room, and he'll be missing out on his bow then. That's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out from Gem in a second, because if sab0tender skipped it, that means IB Karma skipped it as well, right? Because they were all in Eastern.
Yeah, they all have the mushroom, which was in Eastern.
So I think it might have been somewhere else, maybe?
Yeah, he doesn't have the bow, so... No, it had to have been the vanilla Bicky chest in Eastern. That would have been the only place Kohrek would have gone.
Oh, alright, okay. It is in Eastern. We've got our trackers confirming it. If anyone should know, it will be them. In any case, the hammer up here, it really opens up a whole lot of things. And it's really our first weapon of any kind that we have.
Like, you know, not important just as much for, you know, the option to kill Moldorm whenever they get the big key in Hera, but just having something to hit these stinking switches in here is nice too. You run out of bombs really fast having to turn them on and off and on and off, so...
It can get annoying very quickly.
Hey, will we have a moon pearl in the checkerboard cave today? Oh, just $20. Where is that stinking moon pearl? That's our first bottle up in Hera from sab0tender's side. Jim gets his bow in the dark room.
Yeah.
So Team Right got the bow and Team Left elected to skip it. And I really hope that doesn't end up trolling them later, because when you're only missing like 3 checks in Eastern, and one's that long hallway you gotta walk all the way through, and you just need the bow, that'd be one of the last places I would look for it, so...
Yeah, especially... man. It's really unfortunate for them. Oh wait, what was that on the floating island?
That was a small key up there, so we'll never know specifically which one it is.
Yeah, not for a while anyway, probably. Looks like we got a red mail pickup from... Oh no, wait, IB Karma's in the Dark World without the Moon Pearl. That sprite is so confusing.
They could technically get that small key. The only thing they're missing to grab it right now is just the Moon Pearl, actually. They have no way to lift up that rock in Hookshot Cave.
Just 10 arrows in Spiral Cave.
Ooh, Kohrek's opting to do some Super Bunny here. You can mirror on the same fray you would enter the door. You can actually get hit as you enter the door. They both would put you in that state, and he did get it off and got rewarded with a fire rod for it. That's really good.
That is a big find. Looks like Gem is having a little trouble setting it up as well, but he will eventually get his fire rod.
I wonder what he's doing to know that he's in the bunny state at this point.
I think he's trying to swing his sword.
He doesn't have a sword.
Yeah, but it still puts out your hand, or at least, you know...
Oh, it does?
Like, it makes you stop, you know, if you want to move. If you can swing it.
Oh, okay.
And then, you know, you're in the Super Bunny state.
Oh, I learn something new every day.
When you swing your sword, you stop for a little bit. You can't move.
But if you were just regular bunny, even though like you didn't have a sword, but you're in the bunny form, it wouldn't do anything?
Yeah, you would just keep moving.
Oh, awesome. That's actually really helpful. And there's our Moon Pearl over in the Paradox Cave on sab0tender's side. Ooh, and a sword.
First sword, okay. That's a good cave right there.
Yeah, so he can just go ahead and head on out of here and use his Titan's Mitts to lift up these rocks. He's already set it up. I think he was going to Super Bunny up here anyways. He doesn't have to now. And we'll see if he even takes this as far as to checking to see what small key was up there on the floating island.
Yeah, theoretically he could get there. Has to pass up everything else in Hookshot Cave, but you can definitely get to the floating island.
Again, they've actually found quite a few of the small keys, though. I mean, obviously having some extra keys to Pod or Turtle Rock makes your trips a lot easier than that one Thieves Town small key, but Ice Palace small keys, Myers small keys, Goldwood small keys, you don't really need those to check every single chest in the dungeon. You can get away with not getting any of them and still be able to open all the chests. That's Quake at Turtle Rock, and he can open this if he wants. He's even showing off a cool little pull there. You can pull the right side of the, I guess, paw on the turtle there. Actually, I had no idea you could do that.
Yeah, that's a pull spot. Didn't really need the money, but still, it can be useful. Yeah, it looks like he wants to open up Turtle Rock. I mean, if you're already here, might as well, right?
Yeah, no reason not to.
Meanwhile, we see Kohrek and Gem finishing up Desert Palace here with that fire rod that they got out of the Super Bunny Cave. We can actually get in here. Unfortunately, now Kohrek needs to shoot normal arrows, which can be kind of annoying.
Yeah, arrows, or you could use bombs here, but this is really neat that they're both fighting this boss, because this was a sequence break for them to do it, because they needed a fire source to get up here. It's not too much of a sequence break, because they just needed the Moon Pearl.
Oh,
there's
man.
the new key to Hera. Wow.
That's working out for them, the sequence break, it looks like.
That's going to be really good for them, too, because that's going to push them more towards that area. Oh no. Ivy Karma got the small key to desert just as he left it. That's so annoying.
Ivy Karma shaking his shield at the chest in anger.
I probably would have done the same. That's so annoying. Now he's got to flute all the way back to the portal and walk all the way back up. Sick Kid's got a small key today, the small key to Hyrule Castle.
Alright, could be important.
Jim's gonna be throwing bombs at Landmole here.
Yeah, wants to save up on his arrows, apparently. Oh, well, very nice.
He'll be getting his big key to Hera and the red pendant.
Alright, probably not what he was hoping for, but definitely the big key for Hera is a good deal.
Yeah, and again, that's just going to be really nice for them because that neither of them had made a trip up to Death Mountain yet, so when they go up there, he can now completely clear out Hera, whereas the other two people who went up there a little earlier could have only done 2 chests. With the fire source that they sequence broke, and then that big key that they sequence broke, they get to do all of that without having to do it by logic, just getting the pearl, then going back, and then going back. Good old Keysanity stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Alright, so it looks like Gem is going to be the first one of our 2 right players here making this trip up to Death Mountain. Trying to navigate by sonar, playing his flute in the dark cave. Didn't really help him.
It's kind of cool if it worked that way.
Yeah, I guess he opted for the arrows in the end. Looks like he's a little bit lost.
Is he just trying to rescue the old man now? Has he not done this 400 times? He should have this by now.
Yeah, I think he's good.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I was a little worried about him.
Oh, Kohrek decides to check the back of the swamp here, the dark chest. Kind of interesting to see him navigate through this.
Still no sword, which makes it annoying because you don't have anything to track your movements, but if he does get to that chest room, he's got his fire rod, and those torches are kind of nice, or not too difficult to line up there if you just kind of hug yourself on the bottom of the wall once you make it up the corner. There you go. So he got it. He's able to hold 10 more arrows now. I'm sure he's happy about that.
Definitely worth it. Alright, Gem gonna be picking up his hammer first and foremost.
Be happy to see that. Kohrek remembering he does have a cape, so he can check one chest behind Aga 1 here.
Yeah, usually you try avoiding going in here, but in Keysanity it's a little bit different.
Fire Rod makes short work of the ball and chain guards. Much better than having to kill them with bombs.
Much better.
Small key to Ganon's tower.
Alright, not really what he was looking for, but still an important thing to have, depending on where he finds the other ones.
That was a nice bomb jump on Jim's side there to save the extra walk of shame through Spectacle Rod. Looks like sab0tender's rescuing the old man on his side as well.
Alright, so Gem now making his way through Tower of Hera. He's going to be the first one of our players who will actually be able to finish this completely if he wants to.
Yeah, again, the sequence break to get all that stuff he was missing to do it. He's doing the tile room as well. He's a little low on health right now. I'd hate to see him die in the tile room. I think he did that in one of his tournament matches, so he's probably got it this time though. He's learned from his mistakes.
Yeah, looks good.
And sab0tender will be getting his fire rod, and he's doing it the normal way, the way the game intended you to.
Yeah, no sequence break there. Unfortunately for him, he'll have to double back to Tower of Hera eventually, depending on what Gem finds in here.
I'd be Karma taking a death on his side. I don't know if that was intentional or not. I'd imagine with the mirror in hand, you probably wouldn't be doing too many death warps. Alright, Jim made it through that room. Good for him. He got a heart too, so that just doubled the amount of health he currently had.
Very good. Alright, upstairs we go. Grabs another heart, very fortunate here.
Yeah, our Moon Pearl was hanging out over in Paradox Cave, so Kohrek and Jim are going to be getting that very shortly. Kohrek didn't get the bomb jump down. Kind of showing you it's a little bit more difficult than it looks. That actually is a tough one. It's a pretty specific lineup. I believe it's pretty tough to get your correct pixel on the x-axis. The y-axis is pretty free, but the other side's kind of difficult. Oh.
That was unfortunate.
You got hit by the spark and fell after nailing the bomb jump.
At least only one floor, so not as bad as it could have been.
That's true.
Perhaps a red boomerang for his troubles. Let's see if good old Trolldorm has anything for us.
Well, he'll have a crystal, and it will be one of the big bomb crystals, so that's always nice to know. At least you're doing something that you would have had to do anyways.
Yeah, true.
It's really another cool mechanic of Keysanity is you don't know which crystal or which is a pendant until you get the map to that specific dungeon, which was really neat because it added a lot of features into play that you didn't normally use in, say, like open mode, but like talking to Sashrala tells you where the green pendant is, and talking to the big bomb shop vendor tells you where 5 and 6 are, and that can be knowledge that like lets you know whether or not you're in go mode in Keysanity. So it was kind of like old mechanics all of a sudden coming back into play.
Yeah, these hints become a lot more important and just valuable information over just, you know, opening up your map and seeing, oh, okay, this is where I should be going.
Yeah, I've seen many instances where, you know, you don't know whether this one dungeon's the crystal or pendant, but because you talk to the one guy, then you can deduce the other one is, and, you know, that saves you from having to go look for the ice rod to be your go mode because you figured out Total Rock was actually the pendant.
Kohrek needs to be careful here. Didn't quite get the glitch on the crystal switch blocks. Only has one heart left. Oh no.
Trying to get it. He's making this tower very dramatic. I don't know why both of them just wanted to make sure they only had one heart getting up here.
Oh
sab0tender.
Okay, he made it.
Dodge tiles, just don't get clipped by a Moldorm here. It'll still kill you. And actually, I think you could take one hit from him with the blue mail. sab0tender finishes up his Land Mola, so he'll be getting his Tower Hera key. And I beat Karma is about to get his Moon Pearl over here in Paradox Cave.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure that feels a little bit annoying for sab0tender right now. Getting the big key to Tower of Hera here.
Yeah, especially when you were just there. It's kind of that weird feeling when you feel like you're just doing everything in a backwards order.
Mm-hmm.
He got his Fire Rod while he was down here, though, so at least he knows when he goes back up to Hera, he can clear it in full, even though the basement only has a heart container.
Yeah, it's still nice to know that you're not leaving anything super important behind.
Yeah, the peace of mind is definitely very valuable in this game. That stuff will bother you the whole entire run. Jim got a fairy in a bottle, so I know I won't have to be sweating too much when he does any more tile rooms in the future of this run.
Yeah, it should theoretically at least be good for a while. Gonna be grabbing his sword here shortly. Probably happy about that.
34 minutes in the game, you get your first sword. And Moon Pearl. But he did a lot without that Moon Pearl, so it was still pretty profitable for him, even though he does realize he could have had that Moon Pearl a lot sooner.
Yeah, though, I think he's pretty happy about his sequence breaks.
Oh. I think Kohrek fell on his bomb jump too. I saw him up there next to the big chest, and now he's a couple floors lower than I remembered. Looks like he had 2-floor fall there. Something that they can do that we haven't seen anyone do is Spike Cave. Not quite within the logic just yet, I don't think. Maybe it is. Maybe it was just 2 bottles with the cape. I'm not sure of the recent changes, but I know he has enough health and enough materials to do it right now if he wanted to go over there and check what's in it.
Mm-hmm. He could theoretically do it if he really wanted to. I personally probably wouldn't want to, but I'm also not Jen, so. We're gonna see what that small key on the floating island holds for us.
Did sab0tender not grab it while he was up here? Maybe he did, I don't remember.
Yeah, maybe. It looks like IB Karma is in the exact same cave as well, so...
Yeah, they're almost all synced up here. Ice Palace small key. Okay, it's helpful, but definitely not required. But it can save you some time and backtracking. Yeah. Jim looks to be walking over to Spike Cave so we can check out what it is. Oh, we're getting our first check at Hype Cave finally. 5 items here. Starting warm with the single arrow.
Very nice.
Small key to pod, $50, $20. Alright, $90, small key to pod and a single arrow. Pretty boring.
Pretty boring.
Pod small key is nice though. Ooh, that was a shovel.
Alright, he's gonna check it immediately, it looks like.
Maybe not immediately. Actually, this is a smart routing from him. He has the mirror. He can check Hype Cave, and he can just do the south route. And while he talks to Stumpy, he can mirror and then check the shovel, and that's just, you know, a little bit more of an efficient way to check it.
Yeah, he also gets past K45 and all that stuff. Looks like IB Karma dipping into Skull Woods. I think he's the first of our players to dip into this one.
Yeah.
Does not have the fire route, unfortunately, out of all 4 of our players, the only one.
Yeah, that kind of is unfortunate. You could technically clear everything out in the area, except for checking the big chest. He found the lamp, though, so he's got that going for him.
Yeah, no more dark rooms for him. Not sure if we really need the lamp with the quality of the players that we have here today, but we'll see.
It's almost everybody these days. This game has just been evolving so much. Dark rooms used to be scary, but everyone has just gotten so really good at this game. So you see everybody braving them these days.
Yeah, it's true. Dark rooms really are a lot more common than they used to be. And the pod map and Skull Woods not really all that great.
Small key from the dig spot here. Ooh, Castle Tower. So that opens up the other chest in there we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, could potentially be very interesting.
Kohrek's doing a fake flipper here, so he'll probably check out Zora. Those whirlpools are a little bit more fickle than they seem, but he was kind of struggling to get in there for a second. He got it though. And he's got the moon pearl, so he can do a little water walk here and get these 2 chests and the pyramid fairy as well. Yeah, we've yet to see the flippers or anything, and there's only 1 pendant left out there.
Alright, so Kohrek picks up the Master Sword, which means we've seen 3 swords so far. One which we'll probably never get.
Yeah, it's really unlikely now. I think that one being like a forced Master Sword is probably the only option for them to go get that.
Alright, we see both of our other baubles that are still in the game here. One on the Zora ledge and one from the digging game that Gem just finished.
Okay, so all the bottles in this seed. What's Zora have for us today? Ooh, a nice compass. What you always want. Ooh, that's a big key up there on Bumper Cave, and he's got a cape, so yeah, by all means you can do it.
Yeah, definitely worth grabbing that for sure.
Fun little ledge here. It kind of looks like you need the hook shot to do it. You don't really. You just kind of hug left up here on this wall, and you can lift up that pot. If you kind of mess up your directions there, you will fall down, but it's not too bad. You can usually get it after a couple tries. There he goes, yes. And a big key at Hammer Pegs. Big key to Eastern. Okay, that seems pretty good.
That seems like an important one.
And this one is the big key to Dark Palace. Wow.
Yeah, also an important one, I'd say.
Hopefully Jim sticks with this route here and takes it all the way to Bumper Cave, because with the big key to Eastern and Pod, he can really open quite a number of chests in that area.
Yeah, very true. And they've also found a few pod keys already, I believe, like 2 or 3 maybe.
Yeah, I think 2 or 3. With 4, he could technically full clear the entirety of the dungeon, depending on how many times he wants to go through Mimic Cave. Or the cave with the mimics, rather.
Oh, sab0tender fighting Troll Dorm here with the fighter sword. He does have the hammer.
He got him down, though.
Yeah.
So, that'll be his first crystal. And they'll be tied with everyone else as far as crystal counts go.
Alright, Gem on his way to pick up his Master Sword. I wonder if he's gonna go for that 4th bottle. I'm guessing it just wastes too much time to get down there.
I will guarantee you he will not be getting that 4th bottle.
It's also only green goo, if I remember correctly, so that's the worst goo.
I think it was blue, but then again, sometimes our colors are off here. So it's actually the best goo.
Yeah, blue is really good.
Unless it was green, then I'm just completely wrong.
Nope, it's blue. You're right.
I know, Herfy, I know.
I promise I'm not
just kidding.
colorblind. Okay, IB Karma dipping into Thieves Town. An engine that's been pretty much available to them for quite a while, I'd say.
Since they got their Moon Pearl and all that, yeah, that's something they could do. He got a bug net from the first chest. He doesn't have a big key in here, so he can check the first 4, and that's pretty much it. But he's got a mirror to mirror out. It's not so bad. sab0tender is going to be giving us our first check over in the Fire Rod lock part of Skull Woods. Just a fighter sword, Fire Rod. Hopefully he still has his fairy in a bottle, but this is not the easiest fight in the world. You either have to use a hammer, or hope you have enough magic with your Fire Rod, or if not, you resort to fighter sword slashes, and that takes forever.
He also has to hope to find a small key here, I believe, because he doesn't have a small key.
He didn't grab the small key? You shouldn't have enough small keys to get through this dungeon, unless he went backwards first.
He might not have grabbed the pot key. I'm honestly not sure, but apparently he's just going back now. Looks like he was going backwards.
What happened to that? Maybe he grabbed that small key and spent it? I have no idea. I can't even answer this. I'll have to see which key he left.
Yeah, maybe he just didn't feel confident in fighting Mothula with his current equipment or something, I don't know. We'll have to see. Meanwhile, Jem is picking up his lamp, and making his way through Skullwoods as well. So it kind of switched from left and right players to top and bottom players, if I'm looking at where these guys are.
Yeah, got the top and Skullwoods and the bottom doing their escort missions here. But that's good, because we'll be getting their big keys to Eastern, which, I mean, it's like a 1 in 8 chance that it's required at this point.
Mm-hmm. I'm a little bit bummed that none of these guys have asked the big bomb guy where the other crystal is when they
Yeah, you're right. Nobody did go in there and check it unless we missed it. Oh, it looks like Kohrek did it, and we just didn't see. That sounds about right. Okay, so sab0tender did walk down here and get that small key, which you'll spend immediately. So, unless the side door in the big chest is opened, he should still have another key available in this dungeon.
I think he just didn't pick up the pot key, probably.
Yeah. Skullwoods is just the green pendant, so maybe he just didn't want to do it today.
Yeah, maybe.
Does seem like a lot of work for just a green pendant.
Yeah, you never know what that old guy is holding, man.
That's true. Oh, it looks like Ice Palace is our other big bomb crystal. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, if they do find the flippers at any point in time soon-ish.
Yeah, who needs those? Just fake flipper in there. I mean, by logic too, you technically do need the big key to do it. I think you even need some small keys to get down there as well.
Yeah, probably.
Probably need every small key by logic to complete the dungeon. Unless it gives you the cane of Somaria, of course. I think that could take some of the small keys out of the equation. Just
at
one.
least one of them, yeah.
Okay, so Ice Palace is the pendant, and Turtle Rock is the other red crystal. Just kidding. I don't know. Chat's confusing me now. Nobody listens to them, and more importantly, don't listen to me. sab0tender took the trip over, got his pod big key too. That's really interesting if Turtle Rock is indeed the other pendant. That takes the Ice Rod out of play. At this point, the only thing they would be missing would be the Cane of Somaria. You need the hook shot, and then 2 big keys? 3 big keys, including the Ganon's Tower big key, and that could be go mode for them, theoretically.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually not too bad.
No, it's not looking too awful. We'll have to see where they find all that stuff, of course, but in theory, it could be very good. Gem making short work of Mothula. $50 and the green pendant, so there's still a chance for an item.
What's most important for Jim is he continues with this route and takes it to Bumper Cave. I think he'll be very happy to find that big key to pod there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he should be, hopefully. Looks like he's floating away.
see where he flutes to. I think fluting to 3 is probably still a little faster if you were going to continue with this route, but it all depends where he's going to go. He did flute back to 3, so I think he's going to continue with it.
Yeah, okay.
And I know I missed it. I'm not sure if you saw it, but we had the silvers over in the first 4 in Thieves Town.
Ooh, okay, nope, I definitely missed that. Very
Those will be...
still. Sorry, didn't
Oh, I
mean
was
to, yeah.
saying those are important because we know where one of the sword upgrades are, so that could be something that saves you from having to do Master Sword Silverless.
Yeah, the problem for these guys though is they found the silvers, but the bow is still in the probably most inconvenient spot for them.
Oh, that's a good point. So you got 2 people with the bow and no silvers, and then 2 people with silvers and no bow. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Welcome to Rando. Well, there's the ice rod on the pyramid, okay.
Oh, could we have a pedestal seat for Bombos?
Oh,
Can only hope. Looks like Jim's going to be changing that Silver's dilemma we've been having with them and be picking up his and be the first person with the full combo.
Yep, there we go. Meanwhile, Kohrek finishing up his Mothula fight. Pretty nicely done considering their equipment.
Yeah, no, they both had really good fights, actually.
Mm-hmm.
sab0tender will be getting a bottle of... is that blue goo?
I believe that
It was green.
could have been green goo. You're so mean.
I'm just in a mean mood today. I had too much coffee. I apologize.
It's all good. We're getting a Quakefish check here from IB Carmel. Let's see what he gets from there.
Alright. Big fish just have compass today.
Yeah, all the fish
Disappointing.
people. Jeez, what's up with those guys? What did they need a compass for?
It makes me want to turn them into fish sticks, to be honest. It's upsetting.
Kind of hungry. Anyway, looks like Kohrek is going to be very happy about the big key that he's about to pick up. And we're still hoping for Gem to eventually continue his route up to Bumper Cave. He hasn't been there yet, right?
No, he is not. He's working on it. I think he's due there right now.
Yeah.
And he'll be just following right behind Kohrek as far as that route goes. That'd be Karma. Checking the homeless man. I think someone's checked this, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, I believe someone was here.
Just 10 arrows. Alright. So we just stole the sticks that he used to prop his tent up from him, and looks like he got hit by an arrow coming out, or did he...
Oh, yeah. That's unfortunate. That's a soft lock.
Yeah, I think if you don't move and you wait just a little bit, you can bring up your save and quit menu. Hopefully, if he has to reset, he's saved in a while. Okay, so he's got it out. You should be able to save and quit here. Mirror's not going to work. Save and quit. There's no point.
Yeah, he has to save and quit. That's the only way. There we go. That is very annoying if that happens, but it happens if you get hit while you're in the fake flipper status.
Actually, he should have died there, though.
Yeah, that's very true. Maybe, did he, like, mess up the fake flipper from Hobo?
I think if he was, if you don't hold directly right, if you hold a diagonal, it'll soft lock you like that. And I also think holding out your sword will soft lock you, because when you're holding out your sword, when you jump forward, I think you're going to be one more pixel ahead. I think that's what happens there.
Oh, okay.
I'm not an expert on these glitches, though, but... yeah, just hold right, and that won't happen.
Well, at least he didn't lose any progress, so... cost him a little bit of time having to save and quit, but he's basically right back where he wanted to be anyways. like we got the Cane of Brine at the Graveyard Ledge for Kohrek and Gem as well.
Nice. Jim going this way makes me think he's going to head to Pyramid. I'll be interested to see if he takes this all the way to the Compass Fish.
I think he might be heading into Pod, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like if he's going to Pod, you could always flute to 5 instead of 4.
True. That's
Maybe
sab0tender definitely heading to Pod though.
Yeah. Pod's a great play. I need to check his menu to see how many keys they have each. It's tough to keep track of all of those. 6 of them in the pool.
Yeah, it's really hard to keep track of the keys for everyone here. Looks like Gem has 2. I think that's about what everyone else also has, or should be having around 2-ish.
Yeah, it looks like 2. This might be a good blessing in disguise for sab0tender that he did end up finding the Eastern Palace Big Key, because that will lead him back into Eastern, and if he doesn't forget that he hasn't checked that chest, that's an extra, or that'll get him the bow, and that's an extra 2 checks. The ability to complete Pod.
And yeah, looks like Gem just ignored the Ice Rod because, as we said, Turtle Rock... Wait, I'm confused.
Wait. Maybe he's gonna grab it. He probably just didn't want to walk down the pyramid yet. He wanted to check these 2 chests, and then he'll go grab it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It'd be kind of silly to leave that for no reason. You don't know if you need that or not, and it takes you no time at all to grab it. I know Jim's not that silly, but he's pretty silly.
You never know with that guy, you know?
I will say, one unfortunate thing with sab0tender's routing right now is he's most likely going to end up spending all of his Pod small keys to try and find things in this dungeon. He did just get one out of that chest. And then after he's done with that, he'll probably go into Eastern and get his bow, and then realize, oh, I could have completed Pod. So
yeah,
he might have to backtrack once he finds another Pod small key to finish the dungeon up, and that'll be kind of unfortunate for him. Unless, of course, all the small keys are just in this dungeon. That's another big key. That's the big key to Thieves Town, so they do need that.
Oh man, Cane of Somaria, that's another big find.
Oh, Somaria was in there too? Wow. Okay. And yeah, I guess Turtle Rock is our other crystal, so we keep going back and forth on Ice Palace and Turtle Rock, but I think, I believe it this time.
Yeah, I think it looks good. It looks like now is the time for Gem to check the Palace of Darkness and Eastern combo, I'd be guessing.
That's going to be a really good check for him, because he'll be getting his Cane of Somaria, and that's going to open up Turtle Rock for him. I mean, he has the big key and 2 small keys, so the only thing he's actually missing to finish Turtle Rock would be 1 more Turtle Rock small key. $50 from Sash.
Aww.
Probably like $50 and a Werther's Originals. Those old people never give you anything good.
I mean, you know, I agree, but every now and again.
The only time he has something good from the green pennant is the time you don't do it, so...
Yeah, isn't it always like that?
Now IB's made his way into Pod. He'll be doing the same thing. Ooh, sab0tender did not mirror to do Eastern.
Yeah,
Does he have the Eastern big key? I mean, I suppose that's kind of tough because he doesn't have the bow, and he probably didn't want to go in there without the bow.
Yeah, that's my guess.
Well, that's going to be a huge troll for both of them. That's really unfortunate that, you know, the bow is basically almost vanilla. Those are the ones that get you.
It's very unfortunate for them that they opted not to do the dark room that is in between that chest. I mean, I can understand it, and it's not required by logic, obviously, so it's definitely not a bad play. It's just extremely unfortunate because that is really the trolliest spot for them.
Yeah, and I'm at this point in the game. That's I mean, that's a 2 crystal swing for them. That's 2 crystals they could have had, and they're not going to get them now. At least sab0tender won't. He's still going to be looking for the bow.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that chest in Eastern is one of the last locations that he actually checks for the bow.
I hope not. So, smart of Jim to do Eastern before pod here, because he might pick up an extra pod small key on the way, which would make clearing pod a little bit more efficient when he does go in there.
And Eastern is just quick in general because he's cleared pretty much everything anyways, so
yeah,
he can go straight to the boss, finish it up quickly.
It's in bomb upgrade, but that'll be his second crystal. 2 crystals and 2 pendants.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think, he's going to be picking up his Cane of Somaria now. We can open Turtle Rock, which we've done for most of them already, I think.
Yeah, Cane of Somaria, and he'll get his Thieves Town big key too. So, I mean, even if he wanted to go finish Thieves Town, he could go do that instead. I don't think that they have that small key yet, so he wouldn't be able to check the big chest, but you can still get the crystal.
Yeah, at the very least, that's very true.
Yeah, depending on what he finds in here, that'll be a tough call. Where do you go? Thieves Town or Turtle Rock? I don't know which one I would choose in that decision.
Yeah,
One you can finish and leave a chest behind, but the other one, like, maybe you can finish if you find another small key in there? sab0tender will be able to give us the information on what the right decision is. He immediately went there after he found his small key in pod, or his big key in pod.
Yeah, he's still missing the ice rod, unfortunately. It's available to him on the pyramid, no problem, but he hasn't really routed it in, I guess.
Good for Kohrek. He's about to get his ice rod, which that was something that could have been problematic for him because he's actually kind of cleared everything out in this area already. Oh, was that the big key to gain inspire or a small key?
Nope, that was a big key.
Oh, okay. All right, that clears that up.
So there's our big key. Oh, excuse me. There's our big key for Ganon's Tower, while sab0tender found another small key for pod in here, so that's also interesting.
Jim is making the correct decision and doing the backside first. If he would have spent that small key, actually you get an extra one here, so now he can actually just go ahead and check them both. He's definitely going to want to go back there and get his Thieves Town big key and his Turtle Rock, or the Cane of Somaria for Turtle Rock.
Yeah, you don't want to miss out on those.
Kohrek is getting his ice rod. Yeah, pod's weird like that with this 50-50 chance if you don't have enough keys. Like, is the progression in the front or the back? And you kind of have to gamble on which one you want. I mean, those 2 chests are directly locked by 2 small keys. And if you only have one, you just have to hope you pick right.
Right, Alright, so we're in a blind fight for sab0tender now. Let's see if he can get anything worthwhile out of this other than the crystal that he'll obviously be getting.
Yeah, that's always worthwhile. Doing good so far. He's got red mail. That makes this fight pretty nice too.
Yeah, no problem.
It's the bomb upgrade.
Yet another bomb upgrade from a boss.
So just a pod, small key, and a crystal in Thieves Town. We're not gonna know what's in the big chest yet. Sorry, I was laughing at Jim there. See, he ran into the switches being still up. So, I mean, that pod small key is kind of important. You do need that to full clear the dungeon.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we'll have to see what Gem decides for. We can't quite finish it up, I guess, because he'll be checking all the item locations. I can't imagine him just leaving something and going to the boss instead.
Yeah, I think that is what he's gonna do. He'll probably skip this back spike room chest, go kill the boss. That's definitely the best way to do it. No, that fall by Jim was not intentional. It happens sometimes, though. It worked out for him. He made it just in time before the bomb exploded to get across the switches before they lifted, blocked them out again.
Yeah, worked out pretty nicely.
He'll say it was intentional, but it most certainly wasn't.
Oh, he's trying to save a key here.
Yeah, he should slide up the hammer jump here, and I mean, he gets 3 chests out of it. He saves the small key, and he can also go kill the boss right afterwards. But you got to get the hammer jump, so this is a little annoying. If he was doing this from the bottom, he could reset from that super tile or restart, but because he's not, he actually has to take this all the way down the stairs.
And he just dropped his last bomb.
No, he's got more. I think he's got... It is hard to see, though. Yeah, it does look like a 0.
No, I was gonna say, why would you drop your last bomb down there? Okay, if he is 8, I didn't say anything.
I wish it was 0, that way we could have laughed at him.
Yeah, I mean...
Alright, you got it on the second try.
sab0tender now on his way to pick up his ice rod, so he could be the first one into Turtle Rock, maybe.
Yeah, that's a possibility. And IB Karma finished Thieves Town, got his first crystal, right? Because he has to go and do desert to get his Hera big key.
Mm-hmm. Which it looks like he's heading there now.
So we'll get to see what's on Helmsor here, and you had the annoying part of Pod is you've seen Jim do this segment of this room 3 times now. He's doing this so he doesn't have to open a key door in the middle room in Pod, and that saves a small key. So he saved 2 small keys so far in this dungeon, which will allow him to check every chest but 1.
Yeah, and Keysanity can be really important to think of stuff like this compared to, you know, a normal open mode seed where the keys are just in the dungeon somewhere where you need them.
Yeah.
And out of all of them, I think he's only left behind 1 single chest in that spike room, right?
Yeah, it was just that 1. As he only had 3 keys instead of 4.
And that enables him to basically finish up the dungeon, grab his crystal, whatever the boss might drop in addition to that.
So IB Karma made his trip back over here. He got his fire rod, so he can go ahead and... Looks like he's making the correct decision to finish up desert, and that'll get him his Hera big key and lead him up there, and then he can have more interesting adventures, and then hopefully eventually goes back to Eastern to get his bow.
Yeah, both sab0tender and IB Karma need to go back to Eastern to grab that bow sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it's could be really unfortunate. And that bow, I mean, it's beating these two dungeons so far, and then the Ganon's Tower big key. If it doesn't lock anything else, that could really lead you astray for a really long time, because you'll still have plenty of other things to do before you want to go back there.
Yeah, and despite them having the lamp now, which means no more dark room sequence breaks, they still don't want to go into Eastern without a bow in hand, because you don't want to triple dip it, right? You don't know that the bow is in there, and then if you go back in there and you find 20 rupees, and you're like, alright, I guess I'll come back for a third time.
Yep, and that looks like it's going to be all that it locks, too, is just the GT big key and those two crystals, so the only thing it's keeping them is, yeah, really nothing as far as anything in the outside of GT.
Alright, so Gem now floating away after grabbing his two crystals here from the eastern side. Floating to 3, it looks like.
Yeah, he'll go ahead and finish up Thieves Town. You might as well see if you're gonna leave that one chest behind, but I suppose going back to check that one chest is probably gonna be a little bit quicker than having to go back and redo all of Turtle Rock, because you still needed that small key, but unfortunately for him, he's not gonna find that small key he's looking for in here.
Yeah, sadly he isn't. At least it's not going to be too bad, since it's going to be relatively quick for him to finish this up.
Something to note too, everyone's still bootless.
Yeah, and I was just going to wonder about the flippers, which are still sort of missing, I guess. I'm not sure if we... Yeah, we definitely need them for Swamp.
Yeah, flippers in the hook shot, and we also need bombos. And then I think, yeah, flippers, hook shot, bombos, and we need the Misery Mire big key, and then I think that would be everything.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good to me. So I think they need at least one more small GT key, maybe?
No, you actually don't need any small keys if you're just going to go mode GT. You need one to climb, but you can go steal that one from the pot room on the left. Even if you didn't get it, you're good.
Yeah, I forgot about that pot room.
They're usually very generous on the GT small keys. Usually that's not an issue that you see in Keysanity. It can happen, but it's pretty rare. I think there's 4 of them in the pool, but you can skip opening 2 small key doors in the dungeon itself, so... Kohrek finishing up Pod, getting his 3rd crystal. I'm pretty sure he's finished Tower of Hera.
Yeah,
I think he has.
So. I'm not sure, to be honest, but I think so.
Yeah, he was in there with the big key, so he would have finished it. So I remember watching him fall in the big chest, so I know he made it past that door. I couldn't see him just leaving it.
Yeah, true.
This will be an interesting decision for Jim. He has, you know, the gamble of Turtle Rock having a small key in there to go ahead and finish that dungeon. Something else he could do, he could just go into Ice Palace right now. I mean, he knows he won't find the flippers in there, but if you're thinking, well, the flippers are probably in Turtle Rock, maybe I could go ahead and sneak in and find a hook shot in Ice Palace, or maybe bombos in Ice Palace, or maybe just a Turtle Rock small key, and then you kind of save yourself that headache. It's an interesting gamble to think about there.
Yeah, he definitely could do that. I mean, It is still a sequence break, but it's not like he's had any problems breaking the sequence so far.
Yeah, it's actually been working out really well for them, not going by the sequence. But of course, if there's nothing in Ice Palace and everything you're looking for is in Turtle Rock, then yeah, you completely wasted all that time by going into that not required dungeon.
Yeah, it really could go either way. We'll have to see what he decides to do next. There's not too much open to him, really.
Yeah, I really think those are his only two options at this point. He's kind of done everything else. He's cleaned out the overworld, he's done all the dungeons he could get into. If he doesn't switch to the flute, I'll assume he's going to Turtle Rock.
Yeah,
All
looks
right.
like that's where he's heading. At the same time, sab0tender just entering Turtle Rock. So we'll get a little bit of a preview of what gem is to find in here.
I think Turtle Rock's probably the correct play, mostly because that's a play that I probably wouldn't have done. I probably would have done Ice Palace, so I think Turtle Rock's probably correct. It's risky, but you could save a lot of time doing it this way. Ooh, IB Karma fell down the middle hole. Not that one.
Oh man, that's down 2 floors.
sab0tender's got to do the obnoxious way to do the torch room. Very smart of him to remember he doesn't have the hook shot.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's one thing you like to forget, because usually when you're in here you definitely have the hook shot.
Kohrek's big key to Thieves Town, and then he'll be coming down here and getting his Turtle Rock care package.
It's got IB Karma fighting Troll Dome, gets knocked down, unfortunately.
Ooh,
Not having too much luck with these holes in Tower of Hera here.
Yeah, I think they've claimed almost everybody except maybe sab0tender's the only one I haven't seen. There's the 5th key to Pod in Turtle Rock. And Kohrek gave us some information we haven't seen yet. He checked that spike chest in Pod, which only had a small key to Ice Palace in it.
That's a little unfortunate.
Yeah, I could tell you something, though, that maybe they want you to go into Ice Palace. Who knows?
Yeah, it is already the second Ice Palace small key that we're finding.
Oh, that's both of them then. So that's all the small keys to Ice Palace.
Oh, there we go. Maybe it does tell us something. It's not impossible. I mean, so far we've only seen a pod small key that Gem definitely doesn't need anymore.
Yeah. Of course, then again, I was saying I feel like the seed's going to take you to Mire early, and that didn't work out well for me.
I mean, I can't really blame you on that one. You did get a lot of small Mire keys in the beginning.
All the Mire keys gave us a medallion, gave us the mitts, gave us the flute, but not the medallion, so... Maybe Karma got Troll Dorm down. It's kind of some unlucky sequencing that brought him up here so much later than the runners. It's just something that can unfortunately happen to you in Keysanity.
Yeah, it's just a gamble most of the time, so if it doesn't work out the way you're trying to play it, there's nothing you can really do.
Even with these 2 small keys, they can get really far in this dungeon. I mean, they can make it up to, they can check Mimic Cave, they can check the big chest, roller room, and I mean, they can even take this all the way to the laser bridge, because that's not blocked by a small key. Just the actual door to get into Trinex is what's blocked by that small key that they're missing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they can definitely get a lot of items out of here. It just, they need to be the items that they actually require. And not a a bomb upgrade, for example, in the Mimic Cave.
Yeah. I'd be very surprised if we don't see the flippers in here, at the least. Flippers or bombos opens up quite a bit of for them. I mean, 8 checks in Mire would be immediately available, or 10 in Swamp.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance. Well, and then speaking of...
There we are, there's the flippers.
Those are the flippers. And since they can take it so far, I wouldn't be surprised to see bombos as well, or at least something that eventually leads to bombos. Or maybe a hookshot.
Yeah, hookshot would be nice. Don't put that hookshot in Swamp Palace. They don't need this. We don't need the almost vanilla seed. No one deserves that. Jim's having some problems here with the pokies. Pretty trendy for him as lately. He gets them down though. He gets a full magic to boot.
Oh, typical Jim.
Good. He had enough magic to cast that Somaria. It was looking a little close there. The flippers have been in Turtle Rock so far. That's what we found. And as far as the overworld stuff that we haven't seen yet, I think the Bonk Rocks, tablets, and bats. That's a pretty fair assumption of what we haven't seen yet. That sounds about right to me.
Yeah, sounds pretty good.
Alright, the good old laser bridge with half a heart. Yeah, I suppose I'd take the safety door here too.
Ooh, needs to be careful, but gets it. Does have a cave, but sadly no more magic, and ouch. I think sab0tender should still have that fairy. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, that's nice. You can probably take your iframes to maybe make it to the other chest here. It's not the small key we're looking for. Yeah, it's a fun little trick here with the southernmost chest and the topmost chest. Depending on which door you've entered and out of, if you just literally exit the door, fall down the cliff, and then walk back up, your iframes will get you to the chest. And we found a book and the big key to Ice Palace. Oh no.
Well, that means we could potentially be checking some tablets, and we're most definitely dipping into Ice Palace after this one.
I was hoping he would go check the tablet. I mean, it's kind of a long shot, but something you would need to do anyways. Oh, he is doing it, but he's doing it the long way. I wish he really would have done this, going from the other direction, because he could keep his portal in that spot, and if he happens to find a Turtle Rock small key on this tablet, he can literally drop down and be right back in Laser Bridge and go fight the boss.
And that's very true.
But because he's going through this way, he's got to take this portal, which is going to override his other one, so he will not have that save in that spot anymore. There's no way to get back over there.
Alright, so Gem is making up some time here by using his Cane of Berna. And now gonna go out and mirror and probably flute away. Won't be surprised to see him go into Ice Palace pretty soon-ish.
He's gonna check the tablet, and he's doing it the way I had suggested. Again, just save your portal, but unfortunately it's not gonna work out. It's really slick when you can do stuff like this, though. I think sab0tender does have the Master Sword. Yeah, he has the Master Sword. We're just missing out on that being tracked, but I think everyone is up to Master Sword at this point, and outside of the sword that we've seen in Lumberjack, which I don't think anybody wants to do, those are the only swords we've seen so far.
Alright, so Gem also grabbing that piece of heart, and he'll be hot on sab0tender's heels, I'll be guessing. Who looks to be checking Hobo, maybe? No, okay, just check the Lake Hylia Island.
Looks like he'll be going into Pendant Ice Palace opposed to Swamp. I don't blame him. You don't have a hook shot.
I mean, if they decide to finish this up completely, they do have all the pendants, and now they also have a book.
That's typically how that works. You get the option to finish all your pendants, then you get the book like right afterwards. So, not even going to save time by knowing what it is. You might as well just go ahead and clear it.
Yeah.
This room's a little annoying without having a hook shot. You can use bombs to kill the penguins here. Takes 2 shots with the fire rod, which is really just not magic efficient. Even takes 2 shots with the hammer, so that was a good spin slash you got on them all there.
Yeah, it was very nicely done.
Starting to see some of the obnoxious intricacies of good old Keysanity. Double dipping Turtle Rock is the least of my favorites in this mode for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is just a theory I have too, but I do think the boots tend to have even less value in Keysanity than they do in open mode. I think that's why you tend to see them less often, just because in open mode the boots have a reasonable percentage chance to lock you out of Desert Palace, which could be a crystal you need to complete, so you would need to find them eventually. That's not the case in Keysanity. The only thing they really do lock you out of is just any item specifically in the Bonk Rock or any item on the torch, so it's not even necessarily having a crystal attached to it, so I think that's why we tend to not see them as much in these runs.
Yeah, that sounds pretty reasonable to me.
That's just my assumption on the logic, which I don't know much, so I wouldn't weigh on that to be fact, or anything I say to be true. We did split up again, team top, team bottom here. Team top and ice, team bottom finishing up Turtle Rock, and they're going to be sad when they realize they don't have enough keys to finish it also.
Jim going for the bomb jump here, gets it on the second try.
Yeah, he's the bomb jump master.
I don't think we've found anything really important. Oh, what's this?
That's pretty important.
That okay. I retract my previous statements.
I think that's literally the last big key available. Ooh, there's a powder too, so there's the missing fetch quest. Maybe they haven't seen the big key to Swamp Palace, but that's just a 1-for-1 there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good key to have, though. And still really unfortunate for them. Again, not having the bow, I knew this was going to cause even more problems because we knew exactly what was bow locked, which was not very much. So, again, they're just going to keep finding more outlets and stuff to explore that is not that one single chest in Eastern Palace.
Yeah, as I said earlier, I wouldn't be surprised to see it being like one of the last things that they actually check.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's really unfortunate. Oh, there's your small key to Turtle Rock, so... Ouch. The fake flipper into ice would have been a really nice play. Unless, of course, there's super progress in this big chest. So yeah, that would have been the one thing you couldn't have gotten if you would have fake flippered into ice, and you would have missed out on that heart container.
Yeah, okay. Not really something you're looking for if you're already above 10 hearts and in red mail.
Even without the hook shot, navigating this dungeon is kind of annoying because you can't skip past those blocks, so that kind of messes up your bomb jump here. I guess you could. You just have to make sure you bomb jump back. But if you mess up that bomb jump, then getting the big chest is kind of annoying.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of doing this without the hook shot, but it's definitely helpful to know how to.
Yeah. They really not too many options available to him. Who knows where that hook shot's at?
Yeah, at this point, I really don't know. I mean, now that they found the powder...
It could be in the powder. The big key to Meyer is not really unlocking much for them. I mean, still could have a hook shot and Swamp Palace. Ooh. A vanilla Swamp Big Key and a vanilla hook shot? We can dream, right?
Oh, man. It sure will be something.
Also, that hook shot's not just hanging out in Turtle Rock or the from Trinex.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. It could be. Could also be like, you know, you get the boots and then it's in the Bone Crocs or something weird.
Oh yeah, there's that too. From the powder, or it could be like the... I think the trolliest spot would be like the vanilla Big Key chest in Turtle Rock, and then you have to go to Swamp Palace to get the other Turtle Rock small key. That's the worst, actually. I wouldn't wish that upon them. Those seeds will get everybody. And he does have a potion, so he'll have enough magic to break open this shell to get to the nice, gooey Cold Stayer center.
The fluffy clouds.
Cotton candy boss. Jim, what are you doing? You don't have a small key to get more magic. I think he realized he didn't have enough magic. Alright, so he went and powdered an anti-fairy there. He's doing this so he can get sword beams. You can actually hit Cold Stare with sword beams after you do a fire rod, and it will still count as a fire rod shot, so you can kind of get away with it without having to have full magic. But if he doesn't have a magic potion and he messes this up, he's gonna have to reset the fight, and he did get a Swamp Palace Big Key from Cold Stare.
Mm-hmm.
He did it just fine, though. That was really good.
Yeah, very nicely done.
Yeah, it's a really nice trick you can use if you're low on magic, or if you just kind of don't feel too comfortable with the fight. You can save 4 extra fire rod shots and use those instead of, say, like a fighter sword or hammer. Alright, so that's... I take that back. That's not the last big key. We're still missing the Skull Woods big key, too.
Yes, true.
Quake strategies on the penguins. That's actually pretty smart there.
Yeah, that saves a bunch of time. I mean, usually you want to save your magic, but...
You've got potions, whatever. Or sword beams, you know, as Jim showed us. sab0tender's coming all the way back to Skull Woods to get these 2 chests. He's not going to find what he's looking for here. This will be his last pendant, though, so I guess he can just go ahead and pull the pedestal while he's up here, and I think that's probably what we're going to see, is a blind pull.
Yeah, it could be coming up. We're also getting a powder check here from Gem. Let's see if we find something that we're missing here.
Another silly heart container. Murphy, where's the progress at, man? I'm getting a little worried now. Is it indefinitely in Swamp Palace or Turtle Rock at this point?
Where do you go if you're Gem right now? Do you go back to Turtle Rock and finish that up, or do you dip into Swamp?
Oh my god, that is a horrendously tough decision. I do not know what I do. He's going to pull the pedestal right now.
Yep, that's definitely what he's doing.
God, I don't know, man. I feel like if I was in this spot, I would go check Bombos, and then I would go in Swamp. I mean, I feel pretty silly about Turtle Rock right now. Like, I don't even know what's faster, going all the way through Turtle Rock to kill the boss, or double dipping Swamp.
I think I probably check Swamp, just because if it's not, you know, there, you can't really get too far into it, maybe? I don't know. Alright, let's see what we got here.
I make things go triple boom.
Kaboom. I mean, sort of Bombos.
There's Bombos without the O at the end.
Couple of Bombos.
He's going to Turtle Rock, so he's going to kill Trinex. I guess this does open up the Fat Fairy, which is another outlet you can use.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how much I would be looking at that right now. The problem with Fat Fairy or Trinex, or even the Vanilla Big Key, is if any of those have progression, that means that the other Turtle Rock Small Key is in Swamp Palace, and that's the progression that's probably in Swamp Palace. So it's either one or the other here.
Yeah. And here comes the second blind pull from sab0tender. Gonna grab his bombs.
You get some bombs, and you get some bombs. You worked really hard for those. One pendant boss for one bomb. That seems like a pretty fair trade.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, that's gross. Feel really bad for Kohrek and Jim doing all their sequence breaks and stuff to make this as efficient as possible to end up having to go to Hookshotless Swamp.
Yeah,
that's what it all boiled down to.
It is pretty terrible. I'm gonna be curious to see what, if anything, Trinex has for us. Because this is gonna take a while. I mean, obviously you can't just go straight through, but just straight through to the end boss of Turtle Rock is quite a trek.
And again, the most annoying thing is like the progression that he could be needing in here might actually be in the middle chest, which he's definitely not going to do, because like, why would you give up a crystal for one item? When you get an item, a crystal, and then that crystal also unlocks 2 more items, it doesn't make sense, but that could be, you know, the chest that he needs to open. We're not sure.
Yeah, there's not too many spots left, but there's a couple of very trolly spots left for them to check, so we'll have to see how all of this turns out.
And the option of 2 chests in Turtle Rock, Fat Fairy, and then the, what is that, 4 or 5 chest Swamp?
Yeah, and I think there's still
5.
Isn't the Thieves Town big chest still left as well?
They don't have the small key to get inside of it, I don't think. Okay, here's a Bombos check. We haven't seen that yet. Just a piece of heart. Why not? Think he'll be going into Swamp Palace now. Probably wondering to himself, where the frick is the bow?
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's actually 6 with the big key. That's a good point. They do have that Swamp Palace big key now.
Yeah, it looks like sab0tender is going for the swamp play.
There's a hook shot here on Trinex. This is a pretty 10 out of 10 play by Jim. And it could be here. We don't know. Could be Bombos. I mean, Bombos would be just as good.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it will let them open wire, but he can't really get over the gap without the boots or the hook shot.
Oh my god, you're absolutely right. How have I not thought about that yet? An hour and 40 minutes in, they can't even open Mire, and then when they open it, they can't even move inside of it? That's crazy.
That Mire is locked up tight.
Is this for real? Great, small key to Skull Woods. I'm sure that's exactly what sab0tender wanted to find at this point in the run. Alright, so we're going to see some Hammer Trinex here. Small key to Ganon's Tower, that's not going to be helpful either.
Nope.
So he's got 4 more chances here.
Alright, try next. What do you have?
$20.
Oh.
Alright, well, he got a crystal out of it. He can go do Big Bomb now.
Yeah, man. I mean, we'll have to see what else sab0tender can pull out of Swamp here, but that Big Bomb might be it. Just a map to GT here, so there's 1, 2, 3 more chests left.
Where's it gonna be? Karma got his big key to Misery Mire, which he can't open, and he also, if he did open it, he couldn't get inside. And just resizing the window a little bit there. Alright, we're good. Go ahead and mark that on your tracker. I think that's what he did. Oh man.
Alright, so now Gem gonna be grabbing his Big Bomb, it looks like.
I think if I was Nurse Shoes, I'd just be like, you know, if you're gonna make me do all this, can't you give me the boots or like another sword or something? Come on, man, like throw me a bone here. I don't mind doing everything, but at least, you know, give me a way to get there efficiently.
Yeah, I mean, but then it wouldn't be Rando.
That's a good point. It wouldn't be Keysanity or Rando at that point. I guess the good thing too about Hookshawless Swamp is it's really tough to flood the key.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's really not that big of a chance. Alright, let's see here. We're coming up on our item locations of choice.
Alright, we got a map of Misery Mire and $5.
Oh man.
Alright, so left side swamp, what do you have for us today? And if there's nothing here, I think I'm gonna be having a chat with
here,
Vitor.
right? I mean, can't be anywhere else.
I don't know where else to go. Alright.
Another key small key. There's
Hold
one
my
more
breath
left.
here a little bit longer. I was like, oh, small key Thieves Town? What's going on? Also, Epi, yeah, they could go do Aga 1, but how are they going to make those leaves fall off that tree? They're going to blow them off? I don't know what they're going to do. They can't get that sword. They can just stare at it.
Alright, let's see here. Last chance, or last hope.
Oh, no! Oh my god, this is awful.
Oh man, this is the best seed.
If this is a Turtle Rock small key next, I'm gonna die. Like, actually. It's game over for me. I'm just gonna, like...
No, it's gonna be the boots, and then the Bonk Rocks will have the Turtle Rock small key.
Castle Warp? What's that gonna do? I don't understand. Well, he's going right there. even though he does have some other options, but he's just taking this rabbit hole as far as he wants to, you know, or it's gonna let him. Karma, that sucks. Took an unfortunate death to Cold Stare. He doesn't actually need to kill Cold Stare, but he doesn't know that.
Yeah, unfortunately. And that's a pretty bad death because it takes quite a while to get back there, and he's out of magic, so...
Hopefully he just says screw it and doesn't do it, because, yeah, he won't be missing it. He doesn't need anything from that boss, and he doesn't need anything from the pedestal, but he doesn't know that yet, unfortunately. But the peace of mind would probably be nice, too, because he's going to have holes all over the world, and he's not going to know which one's the correct one to do. And unfortunately, like, the silliest of them all is probably the way he should be going.
Yeah.
You know, all the way to left side swamp with no boots, no hook shot, taking the chest you don't normally take first to get your Thieves Town small key, to go all the way back to Thieves Town to open that one chest. Yeah, this is a lovely one here.
I think the most fortunate thing for Gem here is that he does not have the hook shot because he'll off skipping left side.
Yeah, this saved him from, you know, having this to be the last place he checked, even though it probably is the last place he checked right now. I think the only thing he hasn't done is, oh, there's the hook shot in the, oh my god, the Thieves Town big chest.
Oh, man. Alright, so now we can move around in Mire, but we still can't open it.
That did open up a little bit more for us. I guess at this point you just go immediately back to Swamp and finish that up, and then if there's nothing there, then you obviously go check Hookshot Cave.
Yeah. There's definitely a couple things I can check now, and obviously with what we've seen so far from our commentator vision, it's got to be there, you know. Where else could it be at this point?
Yeah.
The most unfortunate thing for sab0tender right now still is that bow in Eastern. And again, as you were pointing out earlier, he keeps finding more and more stuff to lead him somewhere else, and obviously he's going to do that before dipping back into Eastern without a bow.
Yeah. You're 100% right. It's probably going to be one of the last things that he checked. IB Karma hasn't finished Skullwood, so maybe when he does that, he'll mirror and check the pedestal and realize, like, maybe I don't want to go do Ice Palace, but yeah, he's gonna have to follow this lead, being the Thieves Town small key, to get his hook shot to push him towards the progression, and then eventually decide to make the call to go into Eastern, opposed to doing, like, you know, going back to Ice Palace and finishing Cold Stare and whatnot.
Yeah, pretty much. Where's Kohrek headed? He's checking the pedestal. I guess he hasn't yet.
Yeah, he's gonna go get his 3 bombs.
Oh man, what a price. It's not even like a heart or something halfway useful. It's just 3 bombs.
What are you talking? He only has 26 bombs. He might need them. And
out of all of our runners, he is like by far the most bombs out of them.
I was kind of hoping that Thief was going to rob a couple bombs from him, so, you know, he could have made up for it. Yeah, nobody reads it when you got all 3 pendants. You take the 10-second time loss and you pull it.
Yeah, you just do it, whatever.
Unwritten gentleman's rando rules. He has more bombs than everyone else combined? Yeah, that's true. +3. Alright, I guess I'll go to Swamp Palace now. That's the only thing that both of these runners have left. Jim and Kohrek only have Swamp Palace, or they have 1 chest left in pod. I think that is the thing they have, and the chest that they have is different than each other's other chests, but they both have nothing. Actually, Kohrek might have 2 chests in pod. I don't know if he checked the drop-down one.
I'm not 100% sure. I think he did, but I'm not sure.
What was on the pedestal? You missed it? Well, we pulled it 3 times now, but it was 3 bombs. Alright. Got my Thieves Town small key. I guess I'll go check the big chest, get my hook shot. If anybody in chat wants to guess how many rage slashes we'll see on that hook shot, I say 1. I think we'll get 1 out of him.
Yeah, really? I think so.
He's an emotional guy.
I think he's gotta keep moving on. Maybe we'll see him drop a bomb. I don't know.
I think we'll get a slash.
I mean, at this point, he has to know what's in here, right? I think
Yes.
we might get a rage slash if he got boots in here, or a blue boomerang.
Yeah, it's this or pod. Like, he knows that it's either here or it's in pod, and if it's in pod, he knows like he's in big trouble. Even though in reality, no one on the restream right now has checked every single chest in pod, so it was kind of obnoxious to do that. There was really no good way to get in there with all 4 keys that you needed.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Two slashes and a bomb, 14 slashes, -3 slashes. All right. 42 seems a bit excessive, but I do hope that would be true.
So far, nobody has finished to answer that question in chat. Would have been surprised if anyone had, but we might be getting close.
I think if you would have done Ice Palace for Turtle Rock, that would have saved you a minute or so. But yeah, this is a tough one to even work around. I don't really see too many outlets to save too much time in this seed.
Yeah, definitely not.
All right, no rage slashes. Just make me a liar. How about that?
Yeah, it doesn't have any time to waste. I wouldn't be surprised to see that Gem is, in first place, so to speak, out of all the runners right now. I think his sequence breaks have worked out really well, and really the only optimization is that he could have gone, as you said, into Ice Palace first.
Ooh.
But other than that, I feel like he's played it out pretty well.
So, Argus just dropped the other missing Turtle Rock small key.
Of course. What else could it be?
Yeah, Gem's sequencing has been really on point, but it's really tough to ever think that you're in first place when you are finding everything in the last possible spot that you have left. Because, like, you gotta think, like, everything that you have done, if that one person did not do that, then that's time that, they've made up on you. And when you've done everything, that leaves plenty of outlets for a lot of time that they could have made up. I usually never feel good when, I find something in the last possible check possible.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't think any runner ever feels in first place. At least it's my feeling. Like, if you're running in a race, you always feel like you're doing badly, or you're noticing something that you could have done better, or that someone has probably done better. But I don't know, just from a commentator's perspective, even though we can only see these 4 runners, we do have quite a few other entrants in this race, obviously.
I will say his sequencing has been very nice, and the order that he did things, like, and it would have been an order that would have been really tough to do or to recreate, just because it made sense, but to make all those decisions back to back and to have all of them work, that was really nice. IB Karma is in Eastern Palace, and he is going to the Dark Room. I imagine he is going to be very happy. Or, I mean, happy he finally found it, but, like, maybe, like, crap, this was here the whole time?
Yeah. Ooh, well, there goes Bombos.
That's go mode for Mr. Jim. Oh, excuse me, not for... Well, just kidding. Jim, whenever he gets there, he'll be in go mode. I got confused there. That's the last item we're looking for, though, was Bombos.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, no mode. That's the correct term I'm looking for.
Unfortunately, sab0tender making the dip back into Turtle Rock to check that last chest.
No, he hasn't killed Trinex yet, so
Oh, yeah.
everyone
Okay.
else went back in to do it. He just hasn't done it yet. All right, there's his bow. Oh, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I would say that was 27 rage slashes. sab0tender can check both these chests. Hell, he might even think the bow's in here. Hell, he might be the only runner to find the boots, for all we know. They
Yeah,
could be in
maybe.
here, why not? I certainly hope they're not for his sake, just because that kind of will just lead him to check more things before he finds his bow. Alright, Kohrek got his Thieves Town small key, so following suit, he'll be right behind getting his hook shot. The bow was almost in its vanilla location, being the vanilla big key chest in Eastern Palace.
Hmm.
So Silver should...
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead, Herfy. I've been interrupting you all day.
All day. Alright, Jim grabbing his small key and his crystal. So, he's obviously also gonna check the hookshot cave on his way back up to Turtle Rock. And gonna find that bomb mode, then he'll be in go mode. And, yeah, I'm trying to think where the boots could be other than where sab0tender is checking right now.
Oh, I mean, they could be in Misery Mire. They could be in any of the 27 chests in Ganon's Tower. Well, I'd say 26. They're probably not on the torch, but yeah, GT is probably very likely. The most annoying place to have it. It's the seed that wants you to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. But oh, by the way, you're not going to get any boots. At least they got their mirror and flute, though. That helps out a lot.
Yeah, that's very true. Still, a bootsless seed, more or less, or, well, pretty much until the end, is quite annoying.
Yes. Yes, it really is.
It's just such a convenience item, and the earlier you get it, the more you like it. And if you play like 2 hours like these guys, and then in the last possible chest or in the last dungeon that you have to do, you find those boots. It's just, it feels like the game is like purposely trolling you.
You don't even remember how to use them by that point. So Ivory Karma will be getting his Ganon's Tower big key now. And this got really interesting for him here, because he did find that bow, which really led him immediately to the Ganon's Tower big key, and I think has he been in Swamp yet? That's kind of the weird thing about sab0tender and IB Karma, is just because they were missing those items. Like, the seed feels like what, I've done all this stuff and I just can't find anything. What's going on? Like, that would be a very offsetting feeling to have, but it really was just they're missing all the items in the last possible places they could find them.
Yeah, that bow is just super unfortunate for them, and they keep finding things that unlock new stuff for them, where they find more stuff that kind of leads them somewhere, but not really. And there's a lot of backtracking involved.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, sab0tender is going to be like one of the only people to probably end up full clearing Mire, just because he's probably going to go do that before he goes and checks Eastern Palace. Oh no. And Jim will be in go mode, so he'll just be able to go directly to Vitreous. It's still really a shame after all this, you know. It's looking very likely that he's going to end up with, you know, a Master Sword Ganon fight, unless he finds the last remaining sword available on the way.
Yeah, I mean, Master Sword Ganon is no fun. At least you have the silver, so it's not as bad as it could be. But having to spin all the time and the amount of spins that it takes, it's just, I don't know, an annoying fight, I would call it. It's not hard, it's just annoying.
Yeah, it's obnoxious, and again, it's, you know, I feel like when you open like 90% of the chests in the game, you should have the luxury of, you know, not having to deal with that annoyance. Because, I mean, that should be one of the, you know, things that go hand in hand, is when I open chests, I get good things. Not all the junk in the game.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the location counter at the end in the credits says for these guys. Because it's got to be pretty high up at this point, right?
It's going to be a little bit lower than you think. If I were to guess, I would say it's probably going to be like, oh man, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be higher than 160, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's going to be in like maybe, I don't know. It's going to be around there, 150s and 160s.
Interesting. I would have guessed it's going to be around the 180-ish mark, maybe?
No, because they're not going to open very many chests in GT. I mean, that's almost
true.
like 10% of the chest in the game right there.
Yeah, he does have a lot of chests, and in Keysanity, you really don't need to open any of them, almost. Well, you really don't need to open any of them if you don't want
Yeah, he could
to.
skip every single one if he wanted to. But usually in like full clear Keysanity seeds where you go mode GT, you're right around like 155, 160.
Alright, we'll have to see. Kohrek now going to be killing Argus, picking up his penultimate crystal and turtle rock key that he's not going to be needing, thankfully.
Karma is getting his 4th crystal. sab0tender is going into Mire to do some exploration. He'll find some things that I think only he's going to be the only one to see.
Yeah, most likely. Here's a shield upgrade.
Oh, we got a fire shield now? Nice. Hey, it can help out in the GT climb, especially when you're slow. Alright, at 2 hours and 2 minutes, 30 seconds, Jim will be climbing GT to finally open it. Go ahead and put your big key guesses in there, and if you guessed the bow locked portion of Pod, you're correct.
Yeah, very nicely done. Let's see what sab0tender pulls out of Mire here now. I'm kind of curious.
Took an interesting route here. Kind of a cool thing you can do in Mire is because you have small keys upon entering the dungeon, you can just go ahead and go and knock out the left side first, because you don't have to go take that small key.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can flip the switch blocks down and then route it over to the big chest and then grab that small chest. And that's kind of the problem he ran into there, is he went immediately to the big chest, but he couldn't get that small chest because the blocks were still up. So you still do have to go this direction.
Yeah, he's gonna have to go back for that. Picks up his tempered sword, which is nice.
You know what that tells me? It's Master Sword Ganon time for everybody but sab0tender.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, nobody's getting that sword from the lumberjacks. Not to mention that they're still missing boots. So
I doubt they're gonna get the one from Mire either.
yep, and well, Gem is definitely not getting that one from Mire. I doubt Kohrek is gonna be checking any extra chests in Mire either.
That's just silly and unfortunate. Gonna make you work for it. You don't even have half magic either to abuse cave stretch. You have a lot of hearts in red mail though, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah, at the very least, they have that.
Millions of rupees and 3 bottles. Yes, that's true. They could have had 4 bottles if they wanted to swim and get the other one.
Yeah, nobody wanted to waste that little bit of time. Grab that last bottle. Can't really blame them.
They found all 4 GT small keys too. There's only 4 in the pool, so he can open that door upstairs extra good now.
Yeah, he can break as many keys as he wants on his way there.
He can throw them at some enemies on the way, maybe. In the gauntlet, he's got plenty to spare. And yep, as Jim's climbing, we still have no finishers. I hope I'm not doing a commentary curse on him. I'd love to have first place on free stream.
Yeah, that would be very nice.
But he's about a full dungeon ahead of our person that I would say is second on the restream, which is Kohrek.
Mm-hmm.
And then IB Karma and sab0tender. And I don't know who's in the lead in that one. That one's an interesting. I would say sab0tender probably still has a lead, but IB Karma could make up that time really quick if he goes to the right places.
I mean, he does have his bow, so he's Pod and Eastern Palace ahead. He hasn't finished up Skullwoods, which we know isn't too terrible from what I remember.
There's nothing there, but I mean, he could, he could skip it. sab0tender probably does have a little bit of a lead though, because I don't think he has very much left.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it'll be a really disappointing dead end for him when he does clear out this entire dungeon and finds nothing after he'd been following these breadcrumbs for so long now.
He did get the Tempered Sword, thankfully, but killing Vitreous without the bow can be quite annoying. He does have the cape, but, you know, it's still a little bit annoying, at least.
I don't think he's forgotten about Eastern Palace. He legitimately has just had better options available to him. That's why we were very worried about them at the start, because kind of foreshadowed that happening, just because it's a low percentage play at that point. You never expect the bow to be like where it's supposed to be. This is randomizer.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to go in there and then run the risk of triple dipping Eastern Palace. Alright, so Gem making it through pretty much all of the gauntlet so far without any trouble.
Got a full selection of Y items to pick from, too. He found all of those.
Full menu. He is running a little bit low on arrows, I guess, but it shouldn't be a problem.
Oh, he's got plenty. Assuming he just doesn't fall off Ganon, you know.
Yeah, as long as nothing
5 times
happens.
after getting 3 arrows in him. You better not do that, because I would laugh at him for a very long time.
Yeah, I kind of doubt he will, but you never know.
He's pretty good.
Alright, here comes Trolldorm 2. 3 spins should do it. And meanwhile, Kohrek and sab0tender clearing Meyer almost at the exact same time. IB Karma needs to be careful. I don't know, does he have another ice
I think
rod
he's got
shield?
one more shot in there. He gets it. Come on! Kill him!
Oh, no.
Please don't. You got another potion?
Nope,
Oh,
doesn't look like it.
no. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, that's why Hammer is just a little bit more effective than the Master Sword, because you can get it in 4 shots, but Hammer hitbox is a little fickle, so if you haven't practiced it, it can be a little tricky.
Yeah, this is not a very fun fight with the Master Sword. Alright, so here comes Aga 2.
That was a single there.
Yep.
5 more to go. There's a goose egg there, so 1-0. I think he's talking to us in binary right now. That's the triple.
I'm not sure. Do you think those two counted at the end? Might have been
think so.
two plays together. We'll see. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that's 5 now.
Yeah,
Alright,
you got a triple there. 1-0, 3, 1-1. Textbook, I get 2.
Just how you want it to go every time.
Ivy Karm is in a tough spot here because he used up all of his magic. When he grabs that full magic refill but then casts Cane to get across the Trinex, he's only going to have 7 shots instead of 8 shots. And I'm not sure if he's going to knock this out.
Ooh, that was an unfortunate miss for him. I think he's already out now. Alright, Gem now in the Ganon fight does only have the Master Sword, so he needs to spin him quite a couple of times to get him through these phases.
A little unfortunate for Jim here is looks like he's going to get sniped by about roughly 50 seconds to a minute by our first place finisher being Mr. Christos Owen. He's pretty good at this game if anybody's heard of him.
Yep, GG to him. First place finish with 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 23 seconds.
That's a good position to get Ganon in for phase 2. Alright, that should push him over to phase 3.
Yep, looks like it. Ooh,
Dot comment, that wasn't fun in the slightest. Oh, come on. I don't see why no one would think this was fun. I think everybody had fun watching it. I don't see why you wouldn't have just as much fun playing it.
Yeah, it definitely looked a ton of fun.
I'm looking at this going like, yeah, this is great. I picked the great day to choose commentary over playing. That's what I see. One silver
I'm
arrow.
not complaining.
One more silver arrow, and no one looks to have finished yet, so we might have a second place finisher on stream.
Yep, not too bad. GG to Gem.
And Jim makes it through the door with official time of 2 hours, 12 minutes, and 33 seconds. And yeah, he'll take second place. He's kind of narrowly missing it by a little over 2 minutes.
Pretty, almost exactly 2 minutes later than the first place finish, so very nice. Very nicely done from him. Kohrek is also not too far behind, making the climb through GT right now. Meanwhile, sab0tender finally picking up his bow. No rage slashes, surprisingly.
Karma switching over to hammer strats here, and we got 2 on that first one. If you can get a triple there, he doesn't get it. Yeah, you kind of need to get that triple in. It's a little fickle to do, but
yeah, if you're not used to the hammer knockback and how you should be positioning yourself in the heads, it's kind of weird, and especially if you let the heads get out of control, they start moving around really rapidly.
He's got 2 more ice rod shots here, but he's only gotten 3 master sword slashes on. It's 4. Oh, and that's the last one. In this case, man, I wish he would just... He needs to grab that magic decanter and honestly just bite the bullet and mirror. And that way you can cast your Somaria down and then grab the magic after you cast it, so you can have 8 shots instead of 7. I mean, That would really help him out, I think, in this fight.
Yeah, just one more shot would have really made the difference in one of his previous tries already.
Yeah. Because that last one was good, because, I mean, he got the first head down with 3 shots, so he could have had 5 for the second.
It's just very unfortunate for him, because after you die, you know, once or twice, it really starts tilting you, and then if you die again and again... Alright, he apparently picked up a small magic refill there somewhere.
Good, okay. Or maybe he had just enough magic
yeah.
left, yeah. Yeah, so he'll have 8 shots for this one. I think Jim wants to come talk with us a little bit about this wonderful seed.
Sounds good to me.
That's the worst, when you miss the first one. Throws you off your rhythm. You almost had the third there. Okay, you got it frozen. So one more hammer. Alright, that's good. If you're quick, you can switch to your fire rod after your hammer, so you can get working on this side. But if you don't, you have to wait till the death animation starts. He has to be careful here. He doesn't get hit too by the head. Just to add, you know, more fun to this fight. This fight is not fun, low percent. It's very difficult.
Oh no, that's so unfortunate. Taking another death here. Looks like Kohrek is almost finishing up with Aga too.
And we are greeted by Jim, our first place finisher on the restream, and fortunately second place in the tournament. How'd you like the seed, Jim? That's a good answer. That's probably what I would have said too. Hey Jim, you there? Can't hear you, by the way. Well, we can watch Kohrek finish up his Ganon fight. Maybe Jim needed to take a bathroom break after spending 2 hours and 12 minutes dealing with that nonsense seed.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It's also maybe fair to say that nobody has finished in third yet, so Kohrek might still be getting third.
Oh yeah, he's right there. sab0tender found his bow. This is really good for him. I must have missed that in the watching IB Karma's Trinex, which looks like he's bailed out of it. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, but understandable. You don't want to keep bumping your head against the same fight over and over if you don't make it. Maybe just check some other possibilities. He's still got a couple things left open to him, so...
Yeah, Jim, just appears to have been knocked speechless from this this race here.
Lost his ability to talk.
So, phase 3 for Ganon here. IB Karma is heading up to Graveyard Ledge. I don't remember. Actually, the Cane of Burna was up in here. That was. Having a couple potions would make...
Oh, hello.
Oh, hey Jim, how's it going? GG.
Yay!
GG, my friend.
Yeah, to answer your question.
I thought you did.
Yeah. I think just silence pretty much sums it up too.
How were you feeling about where you might finish up to the point where you basically look like you didn't really have much left to check outside of your go mode? Maybe what, one chest in pod?
Yeah, well, I think, well, when I went into Swamp, only looking for like hookshot and bombos, I felt pretty behind. But yeah, then when Swamp had the Deepstone Small Key, I suddenly felt a lot better because people probably went to all the other places first before going back into Thieves Down. So that kind of helped, but otherwise, yeah, I don't know. Didn't expect second at least.
Yeah, a really silly seed nonetheless. Yeah, Kohrek finished in 3rd place. 218.36. We got 2 and 3 on the camera.
Nice.
No
Yeah,
4th
very
place
nice.
finish yet. Yeah, we tried our best to make sure we got a seed in Keysanity requiring left side swamp, since, you know, we conned you into doing this Keysanity for us. We wanted to make sure we gave you one of the finest seeds. You know what I mean?
Oh, thank you, Senpai.
Oh man. Yeah, it was, I don't know. It didn't look like a very pleasant seed to play. Lots
No.
of back and forth and finding weird keys where you would hope to find progression items.
Yeah. And no boots. That was the worst part about it all.
Yeah, we still really don't know where they are, to be honest. Like, we have sab0tender on stream here who's checked a couple more things, I believe, than you have. He cleared all of Meyer. Didn't have the boots. Must have been somewhere in GT, I'm assuming.
Yeah, probably. Don't do that game. That sucks.
Oh, 170. I was completely wrong on my item count, so just kidding. Don't listen to me. We're also welcomed by Kohrek too. GG, man. Congrats on 3rd place.
Yeah, GG Kohrek.
GG, dude.
Nicely done.
Looks like he's got the same feelings about this seed as Jim did, giving us the silence to start too.
Yeah, the second runner to be stunned silent by the seed. Meanwhile, we see sab0tender heading into GT, so we do have a 4th place finisher already in Gemini, but he might still be on pace for 5th place, maybe, depending on where all the other guys are.
We had 3 blind pedestal pulls on the seed. That was really nice. I think everybody fell into a hole in Tower of Hera once or twice too.
I was too greedy there.
Yeah,
Hello.
getting some... Oh, hello, Kohrek.
GG.
Yeah, GG again.
Thanks.
How are you feeling about that seed?
I mean, that was a fun one, I guess. I don't know. Like, I felt like I was doing way too much, but then I realized, well, everybody has to do everything at this point, so I guess I didn't really lose that much time. So, it was okay.
Yeah.
You both did the same play in the Meyer area where you sequence broke to get that fire rod. The other 2 runners didn't do that, and I think that was probably your biggest time save overall in the run, because that allowed you to be a little bit more efficient with that area, because you could finish up desert and all of that. If you didn't sequence break that fire rod, it was kind of you had to go up the mountain, then just to leave the mountain, then to go back up the mountain again to finish Hera. Because Landmo had the Tower of Hera big key. Why wouldn't it? When you had to go up there to get your Moon Pearl to go back down to get your fire rod.
Yeah, that was definitely a nice thing that worked out. The downside is I got that Moon Pearl on East Death Mountain, and I had in my head I was just going to save and quit out of Paradox Cave, so I did that, and I'm like, oh, man.
Oh, and you'd left Super Bunny and all that stuff. There was nothing in there anyway, so it was fine.
Right.
And little did you know you were going to be checking Hookshot Cave about 2 hours later, so you didn't have to keep that one out of your mind also.
Yeah, I should have just paced myself.
Yeah. Other 2 runners on the stream got really trolled by the bows because both of them went into Eastern, but they didn't do the Dark Room, and it took them a very long time to go back to find it.
Yeah, I think sab0tender only just picked up his bow maybe 15 minutes ago.
Damn, that hurts.
It just, they didn't do that dark room, and then they kept finding more things that open up more stuff that was a better choice than potentially triple dipping Eastern if you don't find the bow in there. So I think his last crystal was Pod, I believe.
sab0tender's opening chest in GT right now. I just realized this.
Oh,
You don't need to do this. It's unnecessary, but I guess he wants the boots. I guess he's
Yeah.
done everything, so...
Yeah,
Easy hero.
interesting. I guess he just wants to clear out everything. It's gotta be on purpose at this point, right?
He's missing the big key? That's true? Oh no.
Really?
Oh,
Oh no.
Oh, that wasn't the both side of pod.
Oh no.
Why didn't you check those on the way? Oh no.
Oh, that's awful. I guess he just went. Oh, there's the boots in the rando room. Well, I guess at least he got something out of it.
It's always a fun seed where you have that many chests cleared and you have you're bootless with Master Sword at the end.
Yeah, where did he find the tempered sword? Was that in Maya?
Yeah, that was in
Yeah.
the
The chest to the north of the torch room.
yes.
Oh, alright.
And I mean, with what the seed gave you, both your sequences were both really good. I think the only thing maybe that could have saved some time would have been maybe like a fake flipper into Ice Palace just to grab that last Turtle Rock small key you needed, but I don't know how much time that would have saved you in the long run.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but then I figured, maybe I can avoid Ice Palace. But I think I just don't play enough Keysanity.
Yeah.
Otherwise I would realize it.
Yeah, same here. Like I thought about it, but I'm like, well, there's just as much chance that there's a small key that's vanilla that I can grab on the way, so no big deal.
Yeah. No, it was definitely a reasonable play on, yeah. It made sense. But yeah. Keysanity, you never know what you're gonna do. Like you wouldn't be thinking like, oh, I should probably go glitch into a a cave and get this chest that gets me a fire rod so I don't have to make a second trip down here too. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And sab0tender just found the last big key in GT, which was the Skullwoods big key, and I bet he was like, yes, no, because yeah.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate.
It'll be interesting. I wonder if IB Karma will catch up now. He still has to go finish Meyer. And he still has to finish Turtle Rock. And he's not going to get a sword either, so I think sab0tender's probably still in the lead.
Yeah, there's a good chance.
How'd you like the seed also not giving you any swords too, when it made you go run around in circles to full clear the entirety of it, and then all the swords were like in the places you were never gonna look, of course.
Yeah. But we saw a sword really early
Yeah.
in Lumberjacks. But I think sab0tender found the last Castle Tower key in GT, so
Yeah, and the boots to get it.
yeah, true. That's all.
He could do that now if he wanted to.
Oh, so that's funny because I never ended up checking Lumberjack. I did a route that was, I'll check it once I get boots, and that never happened.
Yep. Don't have to worry about what's in there.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, I kind of doubt that sab0tender will be going back to pod anytime soon.
I think he will, because I don't know what else he has left to do.
Well, I mean, he probably will eventually, but
I mean, I think he's full cleared all of these dungeons except pod. So he's got 2 bonk rocks and like pod, I think. Unless he wants to go do Aga 1, get his butter sword. Yeah, why not?
And the Skullwood's big chest.
And the Skullwood's big chest, correct.
yeah, that too.
Yeah, at this point, it kind of has to play it like it's not in pod, right?
That's true.
I mean, we'll see.
Oh, he's checking
He's-
Lumberjack, so we'll see his sword. Oh, that would have been such a good place for the GT big key to be in Lumberjack. Man, if I would have
Oh,
changed
man.
one thing, that's what it would have been. That would have made me really happy.
Yeah, honestly, I would have liked that because then I would have at least gotten the boots at some point in the seed.
just to go use them to bonk over a tree and then have to do AGA 1.
Seems worth it to me.
It's pretty unfortunate that I think he would have checked every single location possible except upstairs GT to find what he's looking for. That sucks.
Maybe he's doing that for you, Ak.
Oh yeah.
Yes, let's blame Mac.
I hope not. I really don't wish that upon anybody. Or everybody, I'm not sure. 19 hearts, he's 1 heart away from the 20 heart dream.
Yeah, he's pretty close. I'm not sure how many heart pieces he has right now, but
Nope, there's another one.
alright, where is he going now? I mean, as you said, there's really not that much left for him.
We've had a couple finishes since then. Looks like Jib and I, yeah, we got 4th place. Andy finished in 5th. Minochi got 6th place. Willard J. Bradley finished 7th place. Files in 8th. Korea in 9th. And man, that's still all the finishers we have so far. So this seed really doing some damage on our runners. Alright, might as well grab half magic.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Naibi Karma is making his way back to do some work against Trinex. I think he bought some potions. And then after that, if he goes and checks Hookshot Cave, if he hasn't already, that'll be his bombos for go mode.
Yeah, it shouldn't take him too long to finish up here. sab0tender making the right plays here, and also I think his last play, really, to check that final chest and pod.
Well, since I have Jim here, and you know, I have a little bit of an audience to put him on the spot on. You know, as one of the top 8 finishers in the Open tournament, we're all very sad and disappointed not to see you in the Keysanity tournament. You still have time to join, you know.
Yeah, the seed convinced me I should totally play more Keysanity. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can argue with that, to be honest.
Yeah, he did have a compelling counter argument to me here too. That's not going to change me from making a fake account though and signing him up.
Nice.
All right. Oh, he even checked the not bombable wall chest.
Yeah, that's
That
the
was
only chest
Bullock,
he
but
left
he
in
did
here.
get this one. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
That
Not
was
very happy.
5 slashes. Got Serox finishing in 10th place, Walter finishing in 11th. I was also very disappointed in you too, Jim, for not giving me any rage slashes on the hook shot. I mean, it was a hook shot in left side swamp. You owed me at least 1, and you made me a liar on camera.
Well, I kind of didn't want to waste time.
1 slash, come on.
I did consider it, but then I already mirrored.
What about you, Kohrek? I think the only thing you didn't check was also 1 chest in pod. You both also checked the opposite chest in there too. Or you had 2 chests left in pod. Did you have 1 or 2?
I just had the vanilla big key chest, and I was convinced that it had to be a vanilla small key for the longest time until I found the 6 small keys. So at that point, I was like, well, I'm glad the required progression wasn't there because, yeah, I was never going to go back.
Right. You checked the drop down one too?
Yep, I checked everything but that vanilla big key.
You both obviously know by now, but yeah, you didn't miss much there.
Yeah. I think I checked the vanilla big key, right? And skipped the spike chest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think when everybody got there, they each had you had 2 keys going in. There was 1 in there, and then you guys were lucky enough to have the bow also. The other 2 weren't so lucky, and they didn't mirror to go check Eastern either. So it was really unfortunate.
All right, so here we go in the rematch fight for Trinex here for IB Karma. Seems
You got
to have
this,
done pretty
man.
well so far.
Yeah, first head was actually really good.
Yeah, this is looking a lot better.
Is he gonna get it without having to use a potion this time? Yes, he is.
Oh, of course.
Just the thought of having the safeties makes you play better. When you play confident, you play good.
That is very true.
Sabo will finally be able to climb GT after going back to get his key. And IB Karma will be a short trek over to get his bombos, and he'll have at least saved the pain of having to do Cold Stare and Mothula.
Yeah, definitely spared by those fights. Probably 2 of the more annoying bosses, especially if you're still stuck with a Master Sword.
Yeah, sab0tender won't have to do Master Sword Ganon. He even gets a Mirror Shield too, just for fun,
Oh,
and half
no.
magic, all the good stuff.
IB Karma is leaving. That's no good.
Oh, why are you leaving? Oh, wait, maybe he already has
he
it.
been to Hookshot Cabaret? Nope,
no,
he
he
doesn't.
hasn't. Oh no, why did you leave? Go back!
Oh no. He's
He thought he
gonna
had
head.
bombos.
Maybe he hasn't checked the requirement yet? Oh, please don't go back to Cold Stare.
Just kidding, I'm gonna go back up the mountain. 1, 1, 1. No! Alright, this looks like a Skullwoods play.
Yep, this is a Skullwoods play. Oh man, that's very unfortunate.
Oh, I guess if you're sab0tender, you might as well open these 4 chests up here. Like 19 heart, red mail, half magic, Birna, cape, Ganon's good, but what's better than that is 20 heart, half magic, Birna, cape, Ganon, so I'd be looking for the 20th heart.
Yeah, I mean, it can hurt at this point, right?
Did he pick up the heart in Lost Woods? One of the mushrooms?
I'm not sure.
I don't remember. I think he did, but maybe not.
If not, he needs to go back and get it. Just mirror right now and go get that heart.
Yeah, at some point during the seed I was thinking, after all this, if I end up with 19 hearts and 3 heart pieces, I'm gonna go back and pick it up.
You got your 19th heart from the pedestal? Yeah. Looks like someone finished at 12th. Someone is actually his name, not just like someone. And then BTILCX finished in 13th. How many people were in this race?
I think there's a couple left. I'm not sure how many was total.
We had a handful of forfeits too.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, 35 people.
35? Wow.
Oh, that's quite a bunch.
It looks like we had 6 forfeits. We don't need to call them out by name.
Nope, definitely don't.
Oh, he skipped the chest. Oh no, the 19 heart dream. Or yeah. Oh. Got an Aga 2 fight. Let's see if I can get a good Aga 2 fight.
Oh.
It was a 1. I think one. That was your Aga 2 fight, Kohrek. Jim had a 1-0-3-1-1, I think.
I started with 2 zeros. I know that much.
Okay. It was a little tricky pattern. That was actually pretty good. So he'll win the Restreamer Aga 2 trophy.
Driving up his bomb count some more since he got those boots so early on.
Yeah, Jim and Kohrek will tie for the bonk out trophy though.
Yeah.
And maybe IB Karma, depending. Most likely IB Karma as well.
Yeah.
That is not a trophy I want to have. At least 0.
sab0tender is probably going to have the quickest Ganon fight in the restream too.
Yeah, with that temper sword, makes all the difference.
Yeah, his chest count will probably be... Ooh, he's going to have a lot. I don't know, I say like 203, 204. Maybe more? I'm not sure. I don't know. 204, that's my guess. I've been lowballing both of them.
Alright, so Karma is gonna check the pedestal. Not gonna blind pull 3 bombs because he's still missing a pendant.
It's like, do I want to go back and finish Ice Palace? And this answer will be nope. I make things go triple boom.
I really need to remember that hookshot cave.
Hookshot cave. Flute 2-1. Dragon Strike, 1988, finished about a minute ago, snagging 14th place, and looks like sab0tender, no one finishes. Yeah, he'll get 15th place.
Yeah, he's actually tied in 15th place with
Oh, that was a tie!
S0187. He managed to tie, finishing at the exact same second.
2 hours and 42 minutes. You tie with another runner. What are the odds?
That is crazy.
40 seconds behind another finisher. Down TMD. And we are back in Ice Palace.
That is incredibly.
Oh
That was my
no.
doorbell.
Oh, the music changed. I was like, why is everyone complaining? I didn't make any noise. I'm just sitting here with my mouth agape wondering, like, why? Why does it always have to come to this? But yeah, we're back at Ice Palace. Oh, it's not that loud. Yeah, so he can come in here and I think the only thing he didn't do while he was here was kill Cold Stare, and I think that 7 out of 8 on the top of the screen there clarifies that for me. So he can do this, and he knows he's not getting an item from the pedestal, so he's just kind of hoping that the bombos he needs is from Cold Stare, but I think he might have forgotten about Hookshot Cave, because that was probably a quicker check for him than this, and he probably would have done it if he would have thought about it off the top of his head.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually did forget about Hookshot Cave. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't have fluted away after finishing up Turtle Rock. It might have been on his mind when he went back up to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, then you finish it and you're like, I'm good to go. Yeah, he went right to Mire thinking he was going to finish it and didn't realize that he needed Bombos. And then, yeah you're kind of like, oh, well, what else do I have left to do? And obviously these two locations that you had missed early in the game, those are going to be the ones that are really hot in your mind because you're hoping that you didn't leave progression back there. And getting down those stairs without the boots is actually not a very easy thing.
Yeah, these ice physics. They're a lot more annoying than you think.
Yeah, did you see that screen transition on sab0tender's stream? He had a black screen and then it just whipped in there like wrapped in like diagonally and like folded onto the thing. That was pretty slick.
Pretty fancy production values here, I gotta say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sab0tender, by all means, you can come in and tell us your thoughts on the seed.
Yeah, absolutely, come in.
I apologize for not asking you. Yeah, we can ask sab0tender how he feels. I think, you know, about the bow, and then after that, about the GT Big Key. I think he might have some words for mature audiences only regarding those two. Go ahead and pop up the main room. GG sab0tender, sorry for not asking you sooner.
Hey, no worries, guys. Thanks.
So how was the seat? Did you have fun?
That was probably the least fun I've had playing Keysanity so far.
I wonder why that is.
I don't see why. I mean, everything looked just to be going fine. So I guess the bow kind of trolled you a little bit.
Yeah, and that's really too bad because I tried to sequence break that like about 12 minutes into my run and I just couldn't do it. So that cost me for sure.
Oh, I must have missed you in the dark room. Did you not get the key pot, or did you die while you were in there?
I did not get the key pot, and then I started to die, so I just bailed on it.
I got you. Yeah, it was pretty rough. You and IB Karma both did not do that skip, so you didn't get the bow, and we knew that it was probably going to be a long time before you went back there, just because you obviously wanted to go back to Eastern Palace when you had the bow.
Oh, totally, yeah. It was always in the back of my mind that it might be there, but I was definitely holding off on going back at any time.
And then the only thing the bow actually locked in the seat, of course, was the completion of the 2 crystals, and then one other item that you might have been familiar with.
Yeah, at that point in the run, I just thought, oh, there's no way it's going to be that chest. And then as I was about halfway through Ganon's tower, I thought, oh no, it's totally that chest.
I do have to ask, though, why did you decide to skip exactly that chest? You checked the other one right next to it, but you decided to skip that one.
I guess I was trying to play odds there. Like, there was probably 22 chests in Ganon's tower versus that one, but that was really a stupid miss on my part. It would have taken me 30 seconds to, clear that one, but oh well.
It happens, it happens.
It's unfortunate how this game works, where, you'll find what you're looking for in literally the exact last place, and you definitely did that. You're probably one of the only people that got a tempered sword out of it, though, so that worked out pretty well for you as far as that goes, but...
Yes, small consolation there for sure, yeah. All in all, though, not like a bad... Well, actually, it was kind of a bad seed. I'm just going to say it was a bad seed. But, you know, I had fun up until, I don't know, that force double dip into Thieves Town, I guess, picking up the hook shot for Swamp and then having to double dip Swamp, I guess, was it? That was brutal.
Yeah, I mean, you had a fetch quest in left side swamp to get your hook shot. That's never fun for anybody. You should have opened those chests up top stairs. You would have broke 200 and then maybe gotten the 20 heart dream. We were hoping for that, but it's all right.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Oh no, he's gonna go in and check the Swamp Palace big chest too, because that dropped from Cold Stair also.
Yeah, at this point, I really think he just completely forgot about Hookshot Cave. Or maybe
Oh,
he
well,
thinks he already checked it.
When it's not here, I guess we'll have to remember eventually. I don't know what else he has left to do. Yeah, the bow is really what separated you from you two from the other two runners. That just really gave them a monumental lead, and they also did a really crafty sequence break in the mire area, which got them the fire rod prior to going to Death Mountain to get their moon pearl, and that let them finish Desert their first trip down there also. And then even when they got up to the top of the mountain, they could do, you know, the basement and Hera and all that stuff, and then got their moon pearl. So it was really efficient, but it was pretty lucky that it worked out their way.
Okay, I'll have to watch the VOD back and see what they did differently. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Do you know about the Super Bunny trick to get like into the mire shed as you're a bunny and open the chest?
I actually don't know about that one, no.
Oh yeah, if you can do it. It's easiest with the mirror. It's still kind of tricky, but if you enter the cave at the same time you're pressing the mirror, you can get in there as a Super Bunny, but you can like swing a sword and open chests and stuff. And so that'll allow you to open those chests. And I think this also works if you get in there while you're getting hit on the exact same time too. So it's just kind of a little trick. And if you're, you know, practice a little bit, you can kind of pull it off where it doesn't take too long. And yeah, you just get kind of 2 checks while you're there.
Nice, nice.
Stuff you don't see too much anymore. You're usually not in that area without the moon pearl too often.
No, yeah, that's generally true, yeah.
Yeah, it was still a great race overall, but yeah, you did get really like monumentally unlucky with, you know, the few locations you opted not to check happened to be exactly what you were looking for, and that'll kill you every time.
Yeah, and it seems I've had pretty bad luck every time I volunteer to be restreamed. I just do terribly. I'm not that bad a runner, but whenever I'm on, I'm really actually off.
No, everything you were doing just fine. It was just, yeah, I mean, that stuff can happen to anybody. It doesn't matter how good you are at this game, you know? You get
That's
unlucky
actually kind
and
of what makes it so great, yeah.
But yeah, your execution seemed fine. I didn't see you struggling with really anything, so nothing to be ashamed of. You did fine. Just, yeah, you know, Keysanity. The sanity is not, you know, at the end of this word because you get to keep it at the end of these runs.
Very true, very true.
And IB Karma might be losing a little bit of his own as he still is hunting down that Bombos. He fluted the 1 though. That's a really good sign.
Okay, that's a very good start.
Don't go to Spike Cave. Go to Hookshot Cave. Thank you. All right, we're good. We're in this, guys. He's going. This is the way. Yeah, GG to you 3. You guys have anything else you'd like to add? Anything you'd like to say? Any hi moms or?
No, that's okay. I'll just say thanks to Ack and Herfy for doing commentary, and to our trackers as well. Thank you guys, and everyone at Speed Gaming for making all this happen. This is just a lot of fun to be a part of. So that's all I'm gonna say.
I agree.
Yep, same here. Thanks to everyone.
Well, thanks to you guys for putting on an entertaining show. It wouldn't work without you guys volunteering to have your sanity drained by these seeds. And if you enjoyed what you saw, please make sure to throw all these guys a follow. They definitely deserve all the support they can get.
I do believe you're in the Keysanity tournament as well, sab0tender.
Yeah, I am. So hopefully I'll do a little better in that. I'm looking forward to it, though. It should be fun.
Oh, yeah. We'll be seeing more of you for sure. So.
All right, we're going back to Hookshot Cave.
Alright, I want to say thanks for having me. Peace out now.
All right, have a good night, Jam, and GG again in your second place.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for commentating. And bye.
No problem. Before you leave, make sure you sign up for the Keysanity tournament. But have a good one, Jim.
I thought you were gonna do that for me. Alright, bye.
Bye.
Yeah, take care, everybody. I'm out as well. Have a good one.
GG's you well. Third
Yeah,
place.
GG and have a
Fuck
good
Jam.
night.
All right, Bombos, let's go.
Yeah, we finally got it. Just Go Mode Meyer left.
If you want, you can check one chest for a sword. First chest on the left. I don't think I saw him use too many of his potions on Trinex. He's still got a blue in the bag, at least on the front page there, so you can have that for Master Sword Ganon if he does need them.
Yeah, he should be pretty good on potions still, and he still got a bunch of money left as well, so we'll have to see.
Someone had a question of how the seed troll them. I mean, there's definitely some ways to answer that question. I think the best way to answer that question would just to be to read some of the comments after the race finished. I think those explain it best. They're pretty good on the seed.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of choice ones in there.
It felt more like 300/2016 or 300 out of 216. That's a good comment. That wasn't fun in the slightest. Pretty good comment. Yeah, second Castle Tower key was in Ganon's Tower. Only sab0tender found that for us because he skipped over the GT Big Key, unfortunately.
All right, so not really too much else to say here. IB Karma just making its way over to Vitreous. Gonna be grabbing his last crystal finally. Nice rupee count.
That rupee count really signifies the seed here.
Yeah, definitely.
Willard posted a pretty nice clip, by the way, sab0tender, if you want to check that out. I'm sure you could probably have a little bit of feels to share with that one.
I will definitely check that one out, yeah.
Alright, you got a fire shield. And his 7th crystal, so he can climb Ganon's tower now. Well, resizing, no worries.
Yeah, should be all good to go. Make it all the way up to Aga 2.
What do we got going a little bit later today? I think after this, the 8 o'clock slot. Oh man, if I can remember correctly, I think it's an open seed. I will double check because I don't remember things well. Yeah, at 8 o'clock tonight on Speed Gaming 4, gonna have an open seed, and then on Speed Gaming 3, we have our special category for the day. It's going to be a Triforce hunt. You have to find 30 out of 31 Triforce pieces. So I will say, if sab0tender, if that was the race that was going on this seed, you probably would have nailed it.
Totally, yeah.
I think that was a category that you would have been good for you. We got them all almost this time.
Yeah, 199 is probably the highest for me in a run in quite a while, so...
199 in a Keysanity is very tough to do, actually. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, the only way to get a number that high is to really get trolled by the GT big key, or have, say the GT big key be like a fetch quest that came from GT. That's really the only time you're ever going to see numbers like that.
Man, you're a real confidence builder there, Ak.
I mean, I said it doesn't happen often. Sorry, I don't know how to fix this one. He did a great job.
What did the collection numbers look like in the entrance Keysanities that you've been doing, Ak?
They look very similar to that 199 out of 216.
Yeah, they seem pretty brutal. I am a little afraid of jumping into one of those with you.
Oh, you shouldn't be. Entrance is a lot of fun. It can, there'll be a couple little things that, like, they might get you once or twice, but once you learn little quips to it, it's really a more fun and just more open game, so to speak, but you do end up checking a little bit more, but that's just because you're not locked out of as much either, so you can check it a little bit quicker, but yeah, sometimes they can get a little rough where when you find something in the last place you're looking for. But I mean, you could full clear Ganon's tower at like 10 minutes into the seed, That's 30 chests right there. That's nice. Though it might kind of suck because you have to kill Ice Armos with just a hammer, but I mean, at least you're getting it out of the way early.
Yeah, it seems pretty cool. I've only done about 2 or 3 entrances so far, so I think entrance Keysanity might be the next challenge I take on.
If you can finish an entrance seed, you can definitely finish a Keysanity seed. The Keysanity, I don't think, adds that many different layers to it. I actually kind of think the backtracking aspect of Keysanity is a little bit nicer in entrance, just because the dungeons might be a little closer together. If you have Pod and something on Turtle Rock and Thieves Town all on Death Mountain, and you kind of need to go from one to the other and backtrack. If they're all like right there, it's a little bit easier than having to walk to their respective dungeons, especially Turtle Rock, because it's just horrendously out of the way.
Very true, very true.
Yeah. And there's only one way to get in Turtle Rock, but in entrance, there's 4.
Well, as IB Karma comes up G Tower here, I think I'm going to bounce. So thanks again, guys, for everything, and thanks to everyone for watching today.
Yeah, thank you for racing, and GG again.
Yeah, GG's, man. It was awesome to watch.
Alright, so Karma closing in on his Landmo 2 fight. Has to deal with some more ice physics here. Oh man, do you see that other fancy transition there from sab0tender again? Swooped out like a page from a book to the left.
Whoa!
Oh man, look at that! Jeez! Oh man. I should have asked him about that.
I think he's hired a team of specialists to do that for him, actually.
I think he's got like a production truck outside his apartment, so...
Yeah, only the top 1%ers of the world get the quality like that, so it's definitely not something me and you will ever see, you know, with us, Herfy.
No, definitely not. I have no chance of ever getting that. I'm glad when I finish a stream with dropping less than 20% of all my frames.
Nice! And then the best part, too, is if, you know, the 20% of those frames are the frames you did a dumb on, too. Those are the ones you hope to drop. Nobody saw me fall off that ledge.
Nope, definitely not. That's when my stream gets strangely laggy every time.
Yeah, it's like I thought I saw you falling down that pit on Moldorm 2, but now you're at the beginning of the dungeon with a crystal. What happened there? You know, things happen.
Yeah, exactly. I mean... Oh, man. Alright, we're coming up on the lamp room here, and then it's not going to be too far to Trolldorm 2, another, you know, possibility for another little bit of time loss. I think the last weekly, I believe it was, that I raced, I fell to Trolldorm 2 like 5 times or something.
5 times?
Yeah, it was definitely one of my better showings, I'd say.
Did the frame drops catch all 5 of them too? Hopefully not.
Yeah, I kind of doubt it.
Doesn't surprise me he's checking both these chests. You know, you might as well. You're already here. I mean, time checking those chests is definitely going to be time saved versus doing all those spins on Ganons. It's a smart move.
Looks like there is currently 6 more people in the race, including IB Karma, so there's a couple more people still fighting the seed.
It's definitely a battle of attrition, and it's just very difficult to... I mean, there was a quick way to do it, but you would have had to take some very unusual risks. I mean, just even getting in the Swamp Palace early to get that Thieves Town big key just didn't make sense, because you had to go all the way to Turtle Rock to get your stupid flippers. Like, maybe if you got flippers early, you could take that gamble, but it just doesn't make sense after you've been all the way up there.
The fake flipper into the fake flipper into Ice Palace is just something that's, I don't know, you never really feel good doing that, I feel like.
I don't know. I don't mind it in Keysanity. I do like the play, but yeah. I will say it's also very rarely worked out for me, so maybe it does suck, but I keep doing it anyways. I like to just go into a dungeon and finish it and just tell myself I'm never going back. As I go back 200 chests later to open the big chest.
Yeah, who doesn't know that feeling though?
That'll get you every time in Keysanity. Oh, he's got a net out. Is 3 hour and 9 minute and 23 second swag net time? Let's go.
Definitely looks like it. Unfortunately, doesn't have the boots to give it a swag dash, but you know. Oh man, having a little trouble here. This seems to be a good setup.
You know, I actually found out just the other day. I mean, it makes sense you can do this. You can actually hammer dash and hit him.
Oh really?
Yeah, I mean, you can hit him with the hammer, so you could actually do a hammer dash if you wanted to. If you just wanted to be even more silly.
Get some nice hits in here to finish him off. And now we're off to the Ganon fight. Still has at least one blue potion from what I remember.
At least one, so that's pretty good. You can use, if you have the magic, you can use cape strats here to really kind of help you out. If he's quick here, you can get a double in. Alright, got it.
Yeah, probably doesn't care about his hearts too much with that blue potion, but just needs to watch out that he doesn't accidentally die for nothing. Been some nice hits in here.
Phase 2? Yeah.
Yep.
The best phase 2. Come on again, do us a favor. Yeah, that's the spot. No, take it,
Oh,
take it.
no.
Oh. Yeah, he still had a full magic bar there, so he could have used cape a little bit and then depleted some of his magic and then kind of switched over to his blue, and that would have got him up in that corner too.
Didn't want to risk it. Don't really blame him. But, you know, he needs to be a little bit careful now. I'm not sure if he has a second blue potion.
I think he has one more.
I do believe so, yeah.
Up to show him that God spot in the Ganon fight, it just makes this so much more bearable, and it's not too tough to do. But he did really good with the without using it. Like, he did it the hard way, and he didn't have too many cycles, so that's pretty good for him actually.
Yeah, came out pretty much on top there. Unfortunate for him that he missed that spot, but it was still relatively quick. Needs to be a little careful here, but should be good to go, really.
He handled that all right. If you miss that first spin and get a fire bat out, like, this gets out of control really fast, especially if he stops teleporting. You'll just have the whole screen filled with fire, and you're, you know, moving at 1 pixel per movement because you have to hold your sword out to charge it. Don't fall. Okay. Ooh, got that torch glitch just in time. After 3 hours, though, like, your brain's got to be scrambling a little bit.
Yeah, you're just going to be happy to finally be done with this, probably. It's a nice setup for a double here. Oh, unfortunate.
Ooh, I thought he had it there. Alright, GG.
Yep, GG to him, finishing in 24th place with a time of 3 hours, 14 minutes, and 14 seconds. Very nicely done.
Not sure if he'll want to come in and chat with us. I'm not sure how much time we have left, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like we cut the audio. I'm assuming we're probably going to be wrapping this up, but yeah. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Again, yeah, there's an open mode at 8 o'clock today on Speed Gaming 4, and then I think the ridiculous, silly, basically full clear the game Triforce hunt will be at 11 o'clock on Speed Gaming 3.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, as Axe said. Of course, also thanks to both of our trackers, Sigma and Xinhei, for keeping track of all the items that these guys found over the 3 hours and a little bit of change. Follow everyone that has been linked in the channel, and keep supporting the Speed Gaming Network. Thanks to Fiesel and all our restreamers and operators behind the scenes. And I think that's it from us, right?
Yeah, I guess most importantly, I want to thank one other person. Thanks to Herfy Durfy for putting up with me on co-commentary once again.
Come on, man. You know it's always a pleasure commentating with you anytime.
That was awesome, man. Thank you for signing up with me last second. It made me so happy. I was super excited to wake up this morning.
Very nice. Yeah, I was glad we got to commentate again, and we picked a fun seat to do it as well.
We certainly did.
Alright, guys, you have a great night, and I'll be seeing you around.
All right. See you later, guys. Have a good one.